Oh man, I wish I would have saw it. I wish I'd have remembered it. Somebody put Steph Curry as like the best player in the 2020s or the 20th century or something like that. 21st century.
Mm-hmm.
Steph Curry over LeBron James.
I think he was like the best USA player or something like that.
That might have been it.
The best American player, I think. I think was
Well,
it ESPN?
LeBron wasn't born in America? What third world country is Akron in?
I don't know if it's the same thing that
What?
KC
The
saw.
same place Steph Curry was
born. What?
Yeah, I said.
I need a follow up on this.
I didn't even.
I'll try to look it
dive
up.
into it. But you saw that too, Jesse.
I saw something with Steph. I don't know if it's the same thing you saw.
I just kept moving. I was like, all right, somebody having a good time. That's all. No disrespect to
That's
Steph,
like
but...
Stephen A.'s Goldberg's the greatest wrestler of all time.
Oh, the one I saw is that Steph Curry was voted by 20 coaches, scouts, and executives that he's the best American player right now.
Yeah, even that's wrong.
He got 11 votes. Anthony Edwards got 8, and then Donovan Mitchell got 1. Jason Tatum was not eligible for this.
Once again, LeBron is the Euro sensation.
I love the idea.
LeBron better than Steph right now?
Yes.
Yeah.
LeBron better than Anthony Edwards right now?
That one's a debate.
Yeah, LeBron's better than Anthony Edwards is right now. LeBron's better than every. So it's funny. We have to change the way we do this now, because who's the best player in the NBA? Well, Shea, Giannis, SGA, or Jokic. Oh no, who's the best American player? Was Tatum even referenced?
He's not eligible because he's hurt, but the article pretty much said that.
Well, he's coming back.
Well, if he was healthy and stuff like that, then yeah, it's not even a question.
He's going to play this year.
Tatum's better than LeBron today.
Yeah, Tatum's the 5th best player in the league right now, healthy.
I think. Anthony,
so who's the other one? Shea, Jokic, Giannis.
I don't know. Whoever you want at 4.
Well, it was Joe until 2 years ago. Joel.
So you said Shea, Jokic, Giannis, Tatum.
Well, he said 5th, so I was like, who's the 4th? Who's the one in between?
Throw Luka in there. We do them play defense.
I think Tatum's better than Luka.
I would agree.
Maybe Tatum's 4th and Luka's 5th, because it's not like Luka's like far or nothing like that. But I think Tatum's better.
But either way, 4 of the top 5 in any order you want. 4 of the top 5 players in the league aren't born in America, and when they wither out the other countries, they land on 37-year-old Steph Curry still being better than.
We're so cooked in the Olympics.
Than Jason Tatum. I mean, and that's what it is. Like, he literally saved America.
Yeah,
and Steph Curry saved America. Call it what it is. It'd be nice if he swooped in and saved it now, but he did a great job of saving it in the Olympics.
Yeah, no, LeBron didn't even get no votes. That's crazy.
Donovan Mitchell had a vote before LeBron did.
That's my boy too.
It's just baffling to me. Kevin Durant dead. Where's what Kevin Durant from Europe?
From Nova Scotia.
Mars? Maybe Mars.
Nova Scotia. He's from where Bret Hart's from. Where's Bret from? Calgary, Alberta.
Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Yeah.
All right.
I don't know how we got
Winnipeg.
Overreaction or not overreaction? Steph Curry's the best American-born player right now.
Overreaction. Not by a lot. Like, he's probably 2nd or 3rd, and it's minuscule. Like, is Steph better than Anthony Edwards right now?
I was about to ask that question. I don't think so.
I think he is.
I think yeah.
I think you're the highest on Anthony Edwards.
I'd go
here.
Probably Tatum. If Tatum healthy, Tatum 1. I might go Steph 2. And then you can go LeBron 3, I guess. But they're interchangeable. Steph can still light you up for 60 points.
Not that it's all his fault or anything, but yeah, Steph been in the play-in.
That's not his fault. He's got a backpack. It's not his fault. Don't put that on him.
Raymond, you got thoughts on that?
Yeah, man.
Oh,
it's been a while.
No,
I'm really tired. I'm really tired of Damian Barling taking shots at me. I know I'm a backpack. I know that I'm not very good anymore. But quite frankly, if you know ball, you know there's a reason why I'm no good. And it's just because I'm no good.
Oh, thank you, Draymond.
Hey, you know we're getting NFL thoughts from Draymond Green on podcasts now.
Really?
Yes, he's got a
What are you
podcast.
talking about?
He's got a podcast with Jordan Schultz, bro, and they just talk football too. Co-host. Oh yeah, it's the show. Why is Draymond Green talking about football? It's the name of the show. Damn.
That's amazing.
I think he had some thoughts on Mike McDaniel. I'm trying to find.
LeBron had a 33-11-12 game last year. He had a 33-12. He had a 33-17-6 game last year.
LeBron is he's better than Steph Curry. Ant-Man, I don't know. I think LeBron. I'm gonna get off the fence.
I want to be there with Ant-Man with you. I just
Steph
can't
went
get
for
there.
50 plus twice last year.
I'm gonna get off the fence. LeBron's third. He's behind Tatum and Ant.
I love how all of our lists are different too.
Steph is 4. Yeah.
Do you guys want to watch a clip where Draymond Green says that Josh Allen is not the guy?
Oh man. Yeah, please
Hey, let me
do.
see what this guy talking about.
I don't know what he says, but yeah.
I think I remember seeing this on Twitter, but I didn't stop on the video.
Hold on. I need to. Do you know what Steph Curry averaged last year in points per game?
27-9.
No, 24.5. Do you know what LeBron averaged last year?
24.
24.4. 24.4 and 24.5. 4.4 rebounds, 6 assists for Steph Curry, 7.8 rebounds, 8 assists for LeBron James. Those two are ridiculous.
They really are.
Absolutely ridiculous.
What did Ant do last year? I really don't know.
Okay, stand by.
Because I feel like he was one of the top points per game. He's probably like 20.
Anthony
25,
Edwards
26.
last year was 27.6 points per game. Shout out to Ant-Man. Played 79 games last year. 5.7 rebounds, 4.5 assists.
And a really good perimeter defender. Tatum. Can I ask for Tatum real quick? Because Tatum, I think, was top 5 scorer in the league.
Jason Tatum, 26.8.
Oh, it was lower than that.
8.7, 6.0, 72 games last year for
Gotta
Jason
lower the
Tatum.
point total when the offense is running through you and you're kind of playmaking though.
And also one of the best perimeter defenders in the game.
Yeah, he'll guard the other team's best player.
Jason Tatum's nicknames: JT, Big Deuce, Taco J,
I got some talk.
and the Anomaly.
Well, come on.
That's Celtics Twitter right there. I've never called him that for the record.
Just a broadcast
Nobody
journalist.
said-
For the record, I've never called him that. But yeah, that's Celtics Twitter. What's better, the Anomaly or Big Deuce?
I get Big Deuce.
Yeah.
I
Big
mean,
Deuce is-
all right, but I get it because he is Big Deuce.
So this is your fault. I'd like to point this out.
Rest in peace to overreactions.
LeBron James's nicknames: King James, LBJ, Chosen One, Bron, the Little Emperor,
Bron.
the Akron Hammer, L Train, Benjamin Buckets,
Benjamin Buckets is fire. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna call him Benjamin Buckets this year.
Captain L'America.
That's a good one. That is a good Captain L'America is fire.
Steph Curry's nicknames: Steph, Babyfaced Assassin,
Yeah.
Chef Curry,
Yeah, that's fire. Chef Curry fire.
the Human Torch,
All right, that's
Threesus,
Oh no, that's blasphemous. I'm like, I can't call him that.
the Human Torch is whack, and Threes is doing too much.
Disrespectful.
Doing way too much.
There goes Threesus.
I need to Anthony Edwards hasn't been in the league long enough, I guess. Only has 2 nicknames, Ant-Man and Ant. I'm sure some of his female friends have other nicknames for him, but we probably just can't print those on Basketball Reference.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's listed as NDA in a lot of people's contacts.
They was all listening to Cardi's album talking about Ant-Man. Oh man. And what they call Jason Tatum? The Enigma?
The Anomaly.
Yeah.
And our man from CBS 13, our partner
Yeah.
on Sports Sunday. And our new weekly visitor here every Wednesdays. We were going to start this like 3 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Jake's like, no, hold on, man. I got to go to Prague.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be here.
I gotta travel. I gotta go. What do you do? What do you do in Prague?
Okay, so Prague was actually, like, Time Out fam, was one of the most beautiful cities I have ever been to. The architecture was incredible. Went to some castles there. It's relatively inexpensive. And you know, they have a different time schedule for things. So, like, you know, we got dinner at 8 o'clock and might have hit the club until 4 o'clock in the morning. But, you know, that's what you do in Prague. There's some great spots to go to visit and get to know the local people of Prague, which was phenomenal. And then we spent a couple days at a bucket list place for myself in Munich, Germany. We went to Oktoberfest, and man, that's just the world's biggest party. Like, I'll be real with you, that was a blast. There was nothing bad about it, you know. Aside from, like, the beer was even good. Like, and I don't even like drinking beer, and the beer was fantastic. So if you go peep the Instagram, you'll see me in a couple of lederhosen and then just celebrating with the boys as always.
All right, so this is just what we do. We're just going around to Prague and going Germany. That's just what we do. And then the crazy thing about it is, it's almost like when Jake does it, he'll be like, I'll be gone for like 3 or 4 days. I'm going to Prague. Like, not 2 weeks.
Like what we would do to go to like San Francisco or
Yeah.
LA. Jake's leaving the country.
That's crazy.
Guys, I live a blessed life. I have blessed friends, and today's a blessed day. You want to know why? It's my birthday. So,
come on.
Happy birthday, Jay Gaden.
Happy birthday to my dog, man.
Happy
Let's go.
Jay Gaden.
Let's go.
life's
Doing
good.
Company, man. My mom's birthday is tomorrow, so the 24th and the 25th are obviously very, very special days. That's good stuff.
She's a Libra. It's good. We're good people.
That's good stuff. Yes, indeed, man. Well, we're happy to have you here, Jake. This is long overdue, us doing these weekly visits. And let's start with football, man, something we talk about every Sunday at 11:30 on Sports Sunday. 49ers back at practice today. I was hoping it was going to be a little bit more definitive on what Brock Purdy's role is, but he's being labeled as limited again. It's a fascinating thing where you go into a game like you did against the Cardinals and think, well, it probably really doesn't matter. It can all balance out, like with Mac Jones and Brock Purdy. And there's probably some level of truth to that. I don't think that's the case this weekend. I kind of think that the 49ers need Brock Purdy against this Jacksonville Jaguars team.
I don't disagree, because the defense is has a cornerstone from with a player that's from right here in Sacramento. You know who he is, Eric Armstead, Elk Grove proud, right?
Right.
And shout out to Eric and the Armstead family. Mondo, straight up, great, comes on Sports Extra all the time. But he has a homecoming here in NorCal, and if you ask me, I think he's going to have a little bit of a chip on his shoulder this week to prove that the 49ers did him wrong by letting him walk and finding a new home for him in Jacksonville. But when you look at the 49ers and what's going on right now, of course, we lost Nick Bosa this week, but with Purdy and Jones, I think you're right, guys. I think you need Brock back this week. Mac had a really great game, his first game of the year, but last week against the Cardinals really struggled. If it wasn't for that game-winning kick by Eddie Pinheiro, I think we would have had a couple of questions. I'm also intrigued by Mac Jones's injury status as well. It looked like he re-injured his PCL or strained his PCL again. And he's not a very mobile quarterback, so how does that affect him moving forward? I will say this, though. The weapons that he didn't have last week, he might have more this week. I'm intrigued to see the status of Juwan Jennings. But people are forgetting about a name this week that's coming off the suspension list. That was Matt Stafford's pocket guy, which is Demarcus Robinson. So like I think that's a guy that you got to keep an eye on this week in terms of another weapon within the 49er offense that can add to what they're trying to do at the wide receiver core. Ricky Pearsall has looked phenomenal to start the year, but I agree with you. Brock Purdy commands the offense a little bit better than what Mac has done over the past 2 weeks. And people can have the overreaction that Mac looks just as good as Brock, and it's because of the Shanahan offense. I just think Purdy has a better command of it, and when he's there, there's just an extra level of I don't know, zip to it. Is that the right word for it? That they bring to the table.
I do want to point out, in addition to Eric Armstead, you have the defensive version of Josh Allen on that Jacksonville Jaguars team too, and he is nasty business. He is that, and that's why I was saying to you earlier. Like, we'll have discussions over the course of the next couple of days. I'm a little more anxious about this Jaguars team for the 49ers, this Jaguars game for the 49ers than I was a couple of days ago.
No, this Jacksonville defense is the real deal. The thing that you wonder about going up against Jacksonville simply is Trevor Lawrence. And he's been hit or miss a couple different times this season. And I know there's no Nick Bosa, but you've got Robert Saleh, who's probably going to bring a lot more pressure now without Nick Bosa to get some heat on the quarterback. And I wonder if you could rattle Trevor Lawrence, if you could get him off his spot a little bit and not feeling comfortable in that pocket and affect the game that way. I wonder if this game is going to look a lot more like we saw this past Sunday against Arizona, where it was both defenses were locked in. They made it tough on the offense. Yes, we got some more weapons coming back. I love the Demarcus Robinson addition to that lineup. But like you talked about, Damian, with that defensive line of Jacksonville, and with just the way that 49ers defense has been playing in general, I wonder if we're in for a low-scoring affair.
It's interesting, guys, because Kenny, you bring up the comparisons between the Cardinals offense and the Jaguars offense. I agree, because the Cardinals offense before he got injured starts and ends with James Conner, right? Connors. I think Travis Etienne is the same type of player that you see for Jacksonville this week, where he's a guy that's dynamic, not just in the run game, but the passing game as well. And then you have two elite quarterbacks in Lawrence and Kyler Murray. So I think you're spot on saying both these offenses are about the same, and it could be another low-scoring affair.
We saw Ricky Pearsall is on the injury report this week.
Brother.
Excuse me. Yeah, in obviously this Jake coming off the heels of the Nick Bosa injury suffered on Sunday, confirmed by everyone involved yesterday. This is a team who's starting with George Kittle in the first game. We saw Trent go down for a couple of plays. We saw Fred Warner exit the game. Now we've seen Nick Bosa exit the season. Juwan Jennings clearly going to be playing with injuries. Everybody's waiting on the return of Brandon Ayuk. You lost Deebo Samuel, or excuse me, not Deebo Samuel. You lost Brock Purdy. You've been playing with your backup quarterback. All of this has still led to the San Francisco 49ers being 3-0. But are we getting to a point, Jake, where it's just too much? Like, is there an injury that a San Francisco 49er can suffer to where it's like, yeah, I don't know how they bounce back from this one?
Yeah, it starts and ends with Fred Warner. Like, if Fred goes down, like I really start to worry. Like, I know they asked this of Shanahan at the beginning of the year, and like I'm not there enough, and I would press the 49er press group to press Shanahan on this, but like who's being held accountable for these injuries? Like, yes, injuries happen in the NFL, but a lot of them seem soft tissue, right? And when you look at soft tissue, there is preventative ways of making sure that that those injuries don't happen. My question is anybody talking to the medical staff and how they're going about it? Because, like, from my understanding is the 49ers do it differently than any other NFL team. Yes, you want to be different sometimes and be outside the box, but maybe not in this respect. Maybe you want to be like a normal NFL team when it comes to how you're dealing with injuries. And I wonder if they've looked at that at all, or if that's something they look at the offseason. But, like, man, it just feels like every year the 49ers are one of the most injured teams in the NFL. And some of it's bad luck. I'm with you on that. But some of it is like, okay, this is another soft tissue injury. Are they doing the right warm-ups? Are they taking care of their bodies the right way? Is the medical staff going about this in the right way? I read an article last night where like George Kittle talked about at the end of the season last year that the team didn't want him to list all the injuries that he had, but at the end of the year they ended up listing all of them. And a lot of them he said were soft tissue injuries. So I would say if you're asking me on the injury front, well, what's the one that's going to kind of tip the domino in the wrong direction or the scale in the wrong direction? It's a Fred Warner injury. Like that guy's heart and soul of the defense. He's the best linebacker, maybe the best defensive player in the NFL right now. If you lose him on defense, that means a lot of rookies are going to be turned into veterans very quickly. And you're looking at a guy like D. Winters to lead the group, which I'm not exactly sure if he's ready to do that moving forward.
Casey, I want to add to that real quick. I probably should have read this a second ago. From Nick Wagner, Ricky Pearsall tells me that he just has some knee soreness. His expectation is that he will practice this week and will be okay on Sunday. More from Nick Wagner on this real quick. Here's what Ricky Pearsall told me in the locker room. Quote, I just have a little bit of knee soreness, but it's nothing that I'm actually worried about at all. So, yeah, just more of a little precaution. I'll be practicing this week. I mean, that's my plan, my goal. If I had to go today, I would. You know what I mean? If there was a game today, then I'd play.
Okay.
What if it was a playoff game, Ricky?
Well,
I'm sorry.
I did see that about Brock on Sunday.
Oh, good. It was only a matter of time.
Yeah.
It's only a matter of time. Mike Brown now reporting on the NFL. Or Luke Walton or
No,
whoever.
it was, Alvin.
Oh, it was Alvin.
That's
It
right.
was Alvin. Was it De'Aaron?
De'Aaron, yeah, I think so. Yeah. If it was a playoff game. All right, bro. You guys 10 games out of 8.
Also, Alvin, you're in Sacramento. Love you, Alvin, but
on the injury staff front, the cold piece about it is they just changed medical staffs like 2 years ago. So I'm not sure what you do, but I remember they had, I think it was after the 20, might have been a little bit more than a couple years ago, because it might have been after the 2020 season. I think they cleaned house with the medical staff, brought a new medical staff in, and now they've got this situation. I saw some stat where like since 2018, they've been top 10 in games missed, at least 5 of the 7 years or whatever the case may be. So it's just one of those things. I do think a lot of it, the majority of it, if not all of it, is just bad luck. I mean, just misfortune. I don't know what medical staff could have done differently to keep Brock Purdy from getting turf toe when he was just running on the field. And that turf toe ended up being less severe than something Joe Burrow did a week later.
Yeah.
So it's frustrating for sure, all the injuries they got to deal with. But I think it's just one of those misfortune things, to be honest with you. Maybe they should go to Prague.
maybe.
I know. How about this?
You're on it.
CMC, didn't he go to Germany last year for his stem cell stuff? Maybe.
Stuck to Germany. Yeah.
Yeah, that was our first he's going to Germany to get that's a problem. Jake, you ready to be back at the Golden One Center?
Sure.
Oh, that's how you feel.
You down?
Okay. I'm like any fan. I am excited for any new season with the prospect of have everyone starting 0-0 and having a chance, I say, to do well. But if you're telling me that I have high expectations heading to the season, I'm a monkey's uncle. Okay, like I have so many questions for Doug and Scott and this team and the buy-in heading into next week. Like, I think media day is going to be so telling, and training camp will be so telling because as I told our buddy Matt George yesterday on Locked On Kings, they have a really great contingent of good players. Like DeMar DeRozan's a good player. Zach LaVine's a good player. Sabonis is a good player. Keegan Murray's a good player. But how does it all fit together? And like, what structure are you running? Like, you can be really good on defense. You can be a very good rebounding team and move the ball a ton and be fast paced. But like, whose role is what? right? Like, is the offense still going to roll through Domas? I hope so. I believe you have to, right? But like, they don't have the 3-point shooting that they once did. So how does that look? Does Keegan Murray get a bigger role this year, or is he still going to be in that Harrison Barnes role where he's the fourth option on the team? And you're looking at Keegan, who wants an extension, and you ask yourself, is this the year where he finally shows off what he is? DeMar is going to be a pro's pro, but is he going to be able to give up his fourth quarter shot making ability and try to close the game out? I don't know, especially if he's not having him. And then the biggest wild card is Zach LaVine. LaVine's coming off a career year, and I have high expectations for him, but he's also always been injury prone. So, like, is this a year where he had a really great healthy year, and now he's going to be a year where he's going to be injured throughout the season? I don't know. So I have a lot of questions. I am excited about Dennis Schroeder because I like what I saw at Euro basketball, and I'm excited to see how that translates. I like the young guys in Nick Clifford and Maxime Reynaud, but I just don't know how it all fits together. I don't know what offense they're going to run. Defensively, I think they'll be tough. I think Golden One Center is always going to be a great home field or home court advantage. But, like, if you think that they're competing for a playoff spot, I think you're crazy. I think you're close to competing maybe for a play-in spot, but maybe hoping for a high draft pick coming up next year.
Two things. You're a downer. Two, competing for a play-in spot is competing for a playoff spot.
Yes. Also, Jake,
we haven't made it out of the play-in, guys.
No,
They haven't made it.
That's fine. They didn't make it out of the playoff with all the people that they got rid of that people were so upset about as well, except for one time.
Yeah, but it went to Game 7, though, when the Beam team won.
And then they lost the next year in New Orleans. They lost 6 times to the Pelicans with all those people. Beam team, same coach. That coach couldn't figure out how to beat one sorry Pelicans team one time.
And now it's skinny Zion. So what are we going to do?
But here's the thing that I don't see the same way. I don't think that the Kings are some contender by any means. But I don't understand how people look at them as just being so sorry. Like, just this sorry-ass team. I don't see it that way. I see I tell people all the time, I think they're like just this average 500 team. And that's a playing team. That is a playing team. I'm not saying that's a top 6 type team. But I also don't see it like I look at a 500 team and I'm not looking at, oh my gosh, this is going to be awful. Like I don't see it that way.
I can understand where you come from that. I got to see it. I have to see it. And a lot of it was last year. They said they didn't have time to get to know each other. And that's what they've done this offseason throughout training camp. I know when they went down to LA, Domas told us that. I know they've had a training. They're going to have 2 or 3 weeks of training camp together to figure this whole thing out. I'm intrigued by their roles. I really am of how this whole thing works. And then at the end of the year, like by the trade deadline, if things aren't working out, like, do they make a move, right, to offload some of the salary and be able to pay some people? Because that's the big. I think they're strapped on what moves they could make this offseason. So now you head into another year. What does it look like next year, and what moves you can make moving forward? Like, I don't want to be a downer, guys. I just want to be a
Too late. It's too late.
Okay. I came in with high expectations last year, and I was disappointed.
Yeah, well, everybody did.
But those are two different things, though. Coming in with high expectations, and don't want to necessarily speak for you, Jake, but coming in with high expectations and thinking this is going to be a disaster of a year.
Well, I think what he's saying is protecting his heart.
Yes.
He's
yes.
protecting himself.
It's tempered expectations.
So he's going ultra negative to cushion.
Anything else is great.
It's a plus.
Yeah,
That's right.
gravy.
That's right. It's a plus. It's a plus. Jake, we'll see you Sunday night. We're excited to have you here every Wednesday.
Real quick, Jake, do we have a high school game of the week? You anywhere?
Yeah, so high school game of the week, Oak Ridge, I believe. Oh, no, we're going to, Vacaville and Rodriguez. Vacaville and Rodriguez out in Fairfield's going to be a good one this weekend. But if you're in Sacramento and you want to go see one, I believe it's Jesuit has a really good game at home.
Rockland
Check it out, my friends. All right.
Yeah.
Hey, Friday game day is a smashing hit. Just throwing that
I'm
out
tapped
there.
in every Friday. I see y'all. I'm tapped in. Shout out to my
appreciate
McClatchy Lions. We keep doing work, boy. We keep doing. That needs to be the game of the week. Where McClatchy at, baby? That's where you need to be.
Timeout. Did you see that McClatchy
grown
has
man.
a starting quarterback that's a girl? I think that's pretty fire if you ask me. Okay.
We out here doing work.
Wait, did you say McClatchy's starting quarterback was a girl?
Yeah.
Doing work.
All right.
Look at Kevin John. Kevin John, in front of the program, did a great story last night with her.
I gotta check that out. I didn't see that. I gotta check that out.
Look that up.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, Jake. Thank you, my brother.
Hey guys, I'll tell you when my next vacation is soon. Okay.
Yeah, it's probably in 2 weeks.
Yeah, it is.
It's gonna be far away.
Yeah.
Jake, we appreciate you, man.
Take care,
Appreciate you
happy
guys.
birthday, man.
Yeah, happy birthday, Jake.
Bless.
Good. We talked a little bit about this yesterday. Either the Ravens or the Chiefs are going to be 1-3 after this weekend. And we talked about like what that looks like. Like, what do you think about the Chiefs if they lose? What about the Ravens if they lose? And I think there was a consensus among us. If the Ravens lose, it's all right. I think everyone here is still a believer in the Ravens. Mm-hmm. If the Chiefs lose, though, I think everyone's looking at them. I think everyone's looking at them really funny right now. I think they go 1-3 losing to Baltimore. There's going to be some people who are just like, yeah, I'm out. That's an intriguing game this weekend for sure. Arguably the most because of those unique circumstances. But there's a couple of other ones that I want to hit you both with what if scenarios.
Okay.
These are games this weekend, by the way. What if the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, my Bucks, Zabo's Buccaneers.
Those are your boys. Bucks for life.
What if the Bucks beat the Eagles this weekend?
They're Super Bowl contenders, and nobody can deny that.
At
least for that week.
Really?
Yeah, like I won't. But still, at some point, like it's got to be. Like, what else do they have to do?
See, that's a great question. I don't know. The thing that you said, they're Super Bowl contenders, and nobody can deny it. Someone's going to deny it.
I just said they can't.
Okay, well then, all right. Well, you got an issue with it. You come see Jesse.
I'd agree. I mean, they get that one. That one's in Philly.
I believe it's in Tampa Bay.
I don't think I marked that. Yeah, it's bad job by me.
Either
way,
though,
I'll confirm it.
Tampa
Bay.
Bay.
Yeah, Tampa
Either
Bay.
way,
Sorry.
you beat Philly. You're on that level with them, and we all think the Eagles are Super Bowl.
Yeah, because you're 4-0. You just beat the Super Bowl champs. Baker Mayfield's been tearing it up for more than a few seasons now.
Mm-hmm.
Igbuka looks like one of the top rookie receivers. Might even be a top receiver at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Defense is looking all right. Like, they're just a good team.
Yeah. Man, they'll be getting some guys back. Mike Evans, I think, will be out this week.
Yeah, Mike Evans, I think, is out for a while, isn't he?
I initially saw they thought it would be a one-game thing, but maybe.
I thought it was 3 to 5.
Yeah, now it'll be a few weeks, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or you know what? I take that. I think I read they're bracing for 3 to 5. I don't know if it's ever been confirmed how long Mike Evans is out. I know I read that they're bracing for him being out 3 to 5 weeks.
I hadn't seen it in a couple of days, and that seems more likely considering what's going on. I was shocked when it might have been Sunday night. It might have been on like Football Night in America. They're like, maybe a week or so. It's like, hamstring, really?
Mm-hmm.
So that's more in line with.
I don't know what hamstring they're talking about.
Probably Jason Garrett who said that.
Like, leave Jason Garrett alone.
I actually like Jason Garrett on the studio show.
I don't mind him either.
He's all right.
I don't mind him either.
Clapper.
Oh man,
the clapper.
My man.
But
so Super Bowl contenders.
Bucks will be Super Bowl contenders.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Let me hit you with another one, kind of in the same vein. Not kind of. It's exactly the same question. What if the Colts beat the Rams?
The Colts are my Timberwolves. I'm just never going to believe they're any good.
Okay.
They might end up being like...
What the Timberwolves are to me.
Yes. They might end up being like... remember the Giants from like 2-3 years ago? Dayball when he won the...
Unfortunately, Coach of the Year, Brian Daboll.
They even won a playoff game in Minnesota, and I never thought they were any good. I was like, these guys stink. They end up getting blown out.
You're
in
right. It's
Philadelphia.
Minnesota. They've been to the conference finals twice. Like, this team stinks.
The Colts, for me, if you're asking a question for me now, nationally, they've gotten a lot of respect.
No, I'm
this week.
asking you.
Yeah, no, I'm just waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Mm.
It might happen in the AFC Championship game.
Well, write it out, dog. That's what I had to do. Just stay the course, buddy. Stay the course. Can I attempt to sway you?
Sure.
So the question is, what if the Colts beat the Rams? Jesse, you want to weigh in on this at all? What if the Colts beat the Rams?
They'll be good, but they'll never be it's Daniel Jones. You never be real contenders. You can make the playoffs, but
Daniel Jones having a really good season.
It's been 3 games.
I think he's a better quarterback than his reputation says.
Can I tell you, I think they have one of the better offensive lines in the league.
Yeah, you can.
I mean,
Nelson.
Like Quentin Nelson at this point, he's a Hall of Famer. And when you go back to 2000, I'm going to get this year wrong. I should have 18.
Sounds about right.
Maybe. What the year Andrew Luck retired?
I don't remember.
If you recall that year,
but I think it's 18.
If you recall that year, that team, in my opinion, that team was primed for a Super Bowl run. They were kind of at that stage where it's going to happen now. You talk about the moment of mental meeting physical, and you kind of hit that peak. I think as a collective, as a team, it's why the Andrew Luck retirement was so devastating, because that team absolutely, from an offensive perspective and a defensive perspective, that team absolutely could have made a Super Bowl run. Andrew Luck, I think they were coming off a 10-6 season. He had thrown for 4,600 yards, 30-something touchdowns. It was okay, we're about to hit that. We're about to have that Andrew Luck moment. And that team was ready. Quentin Nelson's the only, he's what's left of that. Yeah. But he is to steal your line, the Fred Warner, he's the straw that stirs the drink for that offensive line. And there's a reason Jonathan Taylor's playing the way that he is. And I'm going to go as far to say I think that's why Daniel Jones is playing the way that he is.
I'll give him a divisional round ceiling, I think. If everything goes well, I think they can get to the divisional round.
I'm fine with that. I'm good with that, because the case I'm trying to make is I don't think this is a fluke. Now, I don't think they're finishing, 13-4. I don't know what their record is going to be, but they're 3-0 right now. They got a hell of a test coming up in Los Angeles against the Rams, where even I don't know, there's no, moral victories. Oh, it was a good game. You got to take them seriously. No, you want to be taken really, really seriously. Go beat the Rams. Mm-hmm. But win or lose on Sunday, I really do think this is a good football team. I think they have different components. I think there is a reason Daniel Jones is playing so well. I think that offensive line complements Daniel Jones and Jonathan Taylor really well. I think this is a defense that has played well up to this point. Also, I think they've given up 10 points or 11 points twice in 2 out of the 3 weeks. We could criticize their opponents. We could do all that other stuff, but I don't know, man. You call me crazy, whatever.
Your Colts?
I think there's something here.
These are your Colts then?
These are my Colts?
Yeah. You wanna co-sign them?
Well, can I have the Colts and the Bucks? The Bucks. Well, what are the Bucks?
The Bucks are already good.
Yeah, and the Bucks are your 49ers to me. That goes without saying.
Yeah, you're a Bucks fan.
Wait, the Bucks are my what?
You're 49ers.
I remember how happy he was when Tom Brady won the Super Bowl.
You're the Bucks.
Yeah.
You remember how happy I was when Tom Brady won the Super Bowl?
Yeah, he was like, "Oh wow, this is great. I hate you, Tony Romo."
Why do you always drag Tony into this? Yeah, I'll co-sign him. I'll go. We can go my Colts. We'll go my Colts.
Your Falcons.
No, I hopped off that ship. No, I'm done with the Falcons. 30-0 to the Panthers.
My Ravens.
Yeah,
No, you can't. No,
do that all year.
No.
Yes,
No, you
my
can't-
Ravens.
no,
It's not
no.
my team,
No,
but
that's
those
not
are my
the-
guys.
That's not the spirit of what this is.
I might take the Jags with
No,
Kyle Madsen.
No, they're
the
they're
Jags.
they're your Texans.
Oh no, I don't have
gross.
nothing to do
Hey,
with the Texans.
We'll get there. We got
Nothing to do with them.
3 days. Yeah,
There
what's
we
good,
go.
Coach?
Good.
Beautiful. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Maybe, Coach, maybe you can help our producer Jesse out a little bit. We're trying to find. He's a Dolphins fan, and we're
Okay.
trying to find a jersey that he can get because he don't want none of the current players because they probably ain't gonna be here in about 3 weeks. So he said he got him. Well, that's just it
That's
happens.
true.
I got him beating the Jets this week, though. I do have that happening. But he said he got a Marino. There's a Larry Zonka. There's a Jason Taylor, Zach Thomas. Is there anybody we're forgetting? Classic Miami Dolphins.
Brown, Ricky Williams.
Got the Ricky. We got the Ricky. Ronnie Brown. That's a good one. Ronnie Brown, inventor of the Wildcat. Did they start that with him?
Darren McFadden,
Yeah.
if you're into that sort of thing first, I guess.
Yeah.
Jake Long. That's a good jersey. Left
God,
tackle.
remember when Wildcat was the buzzword in the NFL? Oh my God, it felt like a whole.
My college coach was the one who started that. Gus Malzahn, offense coordinator.
that right?
That's Malzahn, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't like the Wildcat.
Yeah, it's different. It works. It works at times. It depends on who the Wildcat guy is. You got to have Darren McFadden. You got to have Ronnie Brown. You got to have Cam Newton that can actually throw the ball too. I mean, you got to have the right guy.
I just thought, and it like you're right, it did work. It worked for a long time with those guys. But I was just like, hey, there's no type of the defense knows you're about to run. All 11 guys are about to run towards the ball carrier. How can you be successful for a long period of time with that? That was always my thought, but
Football was ran like that for a long time until they put that forward pass in there. That's how
that
football.
coach gets it because that's that Pittsburgh. There's three yards in a cloud of dust out in Pittsburgh.
Run that power back.
Coach, you were pretty adamant last week that despite the win, your team didn't play the way that you expected them to. How do you feel after last week's victory? Was that a little more in line of what you expect from your guys?
Yeah, I thought we started fast. I loved where we were at in the first half. I felt like we got some relief syndrome at halftime. So like me, I'm never satisfied. I mean, unless we go out there and it's 70-0. I mean,
yeah, you look mad today. To be honest, you still don't look happy.
Nah, these dudes, it ain't. It's never gonna be enough. It's never gonna be enough. No.
Anytime you use the term "these dudes," it's not good. This is not good.
When confetti falls down on us and we hold a trophy up, then I'll say, all right, good job. Good
I
job.
don't even think that's true. You're gonna be Kobe. You're gonna be sitting there like this with the trophy in your hand.
Yeah, it's crazy. When we won the championship I was at Pitt in 2021. We won the ACC championship, and the players were so excited, and I was just thinking like, we didn't play. We could have played so much better. You know what I mean? It's like, Coach, chill, bro. Like, take the picture, smile, man. I'm like, all right.
Are you one of those guys? I feel like you are because you're super competitive, right? And you're a perfectionist when it comes to the game of football, maybe just in life in general. But are you one of those guys where winning is more of a relief than like, I enjoy this? It's like, I'm glad we got the win. I'm moving on to what's next, as opposed to like, let's celebrate.
Yeah, all I think about is like, did you play like with every rep did you play it like your last, and did you do like, were you like perfect on that rep, like striving for perfection?
Mm-hmm.
And if you do that, then obviously that's what winning is going to come with that. But it's still so much more to like, you know what I mean? Like, there would be games as a player. It's easier to explain as a player than it is as a coach. As a player, where I would have, I think one game I had like 240 yards receiving, but I dropped a pass, and I literally was like in tears about dropping the pass, like the one pass that I dropped.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's like, you play such a good game. But I'm like, bro, I dropped one pass. Like, I can't drop a pass. Like, I'm, you know what I'm saying? Like, that type of mentality is what helps me as a coach. It's a gift and a curse, because players be like, it helps players get a lot better. But also it's like, man, this dude is always on my ass. Like, he's always on me. You know what I'm saying?
So real quick, though, because what I heard there was, not to bring up old stuff or anything, But that from what I could gather, that was the conversation that Ryan Clark was having with Peter Schrager. Because Peter Schrager was saying CeeDee Lamb played a good game and he played much better than AJ Brown. And Ryan Clark was saying, first of all, AJ's team won and CeeDee had drops. Like, I wouldn't say he just automatically played a good game. And what coach is talking about is that CeeDee had like 140 yards receiving that game, but he had 3 or 4 drops. And like coach, like he's saying as a player, it's like, I didn't play a good game. I left a bunch on the table. And I think, I don't want to say one person is right or wrong, but that's where they were missing each other. And Ryan was like, this is a player's
but I don't even know that that's a player's perspective versus a non-player's perspective. I just think that's a mentality.
Yeah.
True.
I mean, you think
you tell the guys, like, you can't look at it like how your mom would look at it. You know, your mom is going to be like, oh, he caught the touchdown. He met, like happy about, your baby being good at something. Right. But from a player's perspective, and if you don't win the game, it's not good enough. There's not anything that you did good enough. Like, you had to do something better to affect the game, to change the game and win the game. So if you don't win the game, I can't realistically, like, you can, have that fake positive thing where you say, oh yeah, I did good, but really you didn't win the game. So there's a lot of things that has to change so you can win the game. And as a player, sometimes if I have to do less and my team, especially as a receiver, right? You're talking about AJ Brown. If he's had to be a decoy the whole game and he took a double team and that opened up the run game or opened up another receiver to get the ball and his team won, then he can hang his hat on that because he's like, you know what, my team won. Now he's going to be upset. A real player is going to be upset because he didn't get the touches that he wanted to get or make the plays that he wanted to make, but he's going to be happy from the standpoint that we won the game, right? And so there's a lot that goes into it. The mentality part of it, there's a lot that goes into that.
Well, what's this sound like? Like, we're going to be at Baker Family Wines on Sunday at 1:00, drinking wine with Dusty Baker. Dusty Baker, one of the greatest winners Major League Baseball has ever seen, was in here in studio a couple of days ago. I asked him about, we talked about what it meant for us to finally see him win that World Series. I asked him what it meant for him, and he immediately referenced everything that he had lost. He didn't even talk about the one that he had won. He was like, oh, I just thought how I should have had like 4 of them. And reeled off like, moments and games. And like, I think that competitor's mentality is what keeps coaches in a bad mood all the time. It's like, yeah, we won by 30, but man, we didn't execute on this drive. We didn't execute on this drive. We punted twice. And it's, I think it's it's a trait of, I think, the best coaches. Like, that's because they're demanding. And coach talked about that. Coach Marion, you talked about that a couple of weeks ago. Like, you demand a lot of your players, and winning sometimes isn't the end goal. It's playing your best is what the end goal is.
Yeah, for me with the guys, it's really like, it's just such a short period of time with them. And, like, the biggest compliment I get from, my former players is that they're great in life. Like, they're good. Like, they don't need me to come save them or help them. Like, they are good because of the time that we spent together. I made sure every detail of what they need to be successful in life, they have. And I think you just have to maximize that as a coach. Like, I'm constantly coaching our coaches not to waste the players' time and to teach and develop them and be hard on them, discipline them. Every minute that you have with them is of the utmost importance, because these dudes are going to go out into the world. And this world, as you know, for a man is really hard. It's, if you're not a provider, you're a zero. Like, if you can't get it done, if you can't compete, everybody wants to be on TV and be on ESPN and be on the radio. Y'all got to compete every week for that. Like, that's, you can't have a bad show. You can't have a bad performance. You can't say I'm sick today. Like, nobody cares about that stuff. And so everything that we're teaching them is so much bigger than, just the wins and losses on the field, but also, can you wake up, show up every day and win in life? When everything might be crashing down, can you still get up and compete and do what you need to do to provide for your family? And so that's why I am the way I am. It's just because I just see that, all that discipline and structure that my coaches gave me, that's what saved my life when it was time, when football was over and I was out there in that real world and it was time to compete, and your pockets is low and your energy is low and you don't know, You get out of college, so much time, players complain. I remember my grandma like, you better slow down. You don't want to be an adult. You don't want these bills, like you want to be grown so fast. And now I know what she was talking about. When you
grandma was right.
Yeah, when you get outside of college, it's real life. You better ain't
no
nobody
going back.
No free meal, ain't no free lunch no more. It's time to go.
Well, unless you hang out with Kenny. If you hang out with Kenny, you get, you get keys to the city.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Mm.
This DoorDash was not free. It came out of that Apple Pay. Coach, talking about the team a little bit, and I look at somebody like Cardell, and I look at Damian at the running back spot and Rodney, and how in the last 3 games or so, it feels like we see them improving with each game, maybe with each snap, getting more and more comfortable, getting better. I think back to all the excitement going into the season, all the names we had heard, practices we saw or whatever, and it was just a little off on the first game. And I think about myself and others, that was probably our fault because we just kind of thought like, hey, there's names out here. They're going to go out here and the go-go offense is going to go crazy from the first snap.
Mm-hmm.
And you mentioned a little bit last night, game reps matter. Like you can do whatever you want in practice, but actually being a game, actually being against an opponent who's scheming a different way for you, or just being in that environment, that matters. And it seems like these guys are starting to get more game reps and getting more comfortable. And we probably should have had that type of understanding and gave that grace at the start of the season as well.
Yeah, I always say as a player, it's a little bit different. Like as your first responsibility as a player, right? You just want to get on the field. You want to be able to make an impact for your team and get on the field. And then, as you start to get on the field, then you want to be like a guy who, they game plan plays for you. You make consistent plays and you're like one of the guys. And then you want to become like the guy, like, okay, the country knows my name. Like I'm him. Like I'm that guy. And then you have next level aspirations because of, the progression of what that takes. A lot of our guys, people got excited because of their talent, right? And oftentimes because of talent, you don't think that you have to prepare in a way. People get fooled by their talent, and they don't really rely on their work ethic. The guys that are having a lot of success right now are guys that don't believe that they're talented and they really work really, really hard. And they've worked really, really hard since they stepped foot on campus, and they've been pushed to a new level as a player. But they still had that through that progression of, I've been at a different school. I was just a guy who got a few touches, a few carries. I was in the game. I made a couple plays, but I wasn't the guy. You know what I'm saying? Like none of these guys have been the guy. We have one guy, Jamar Curtis, who's banged up right now. He was the guy at his school. He was the bell cow, All-American, Walter Payton finalist. Like he was the guy at his school. But the rest of the guys that we brought in, yes, they're very talented. Yes, they come from, prestigious programs, but they weren't the guy, like where they were counted on down in, down out, game in, game out. Boom, you have got to make this play, right? Or we don't win the game. And so for a lot of our players, that only happens in games. And so now they're getting that confidence of, okay, I can consistently make this play. I'm really a guy. Like I can, you know what I mean? You know how it is. And you've played sports. Until it's like, okay, the ball's in my hands. Like I got to do this. It's a little bit different responsibility of just, okay, I'm on the floor. If I'm open, they're going to give me a shot. Or if I'm open, I'm going to make a play, right? Now it's like, no, this play is designed for you to make this play. You have got to make this play.
It's a little easier, it feels like, to measure, growth on the offensive end. You talked, Coach, with us a handful of weeks ago when this all started about the trenches, and talked about the turnover in this roster and how it was basically split between the offense and the defense. Are you seeing the growth that you want in the trenches just as much as you might be seeing it on the offensive end?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we've practiced violent every day. I said the one thing we just had to do is, it's weird because you have some comfortability with guys you go against every day. I always say, like, anybody can be tough from anywhere. We see UFC fighters that come from, anywhere, all over the country, could come from affluent backgrounds or could come from, poverty, and they rise up in fighting. But first you have to be able to shadow box, have your technique right. Then you're able to hit a bag. Then you get in the ring and you have a spar partner, but then you have to go against a stranger. Right. And so the mentality of our guys is just making sure that you've been trained really well and you've went against a really good spar partner. When we go against each other every day, we get after it. If you've been to our practice, you see it's a violent practice. Guys really get after it. The first game, I thought we were, a little timid versus stranger. And I'm like, fellas, we've been, these dudes are trying to KO you and they can't. They were giving us everything they had. And, our guys were standing there and just taking shots. They weren't giving shots. And then after that, since that game, we've been giving shots and we've been taking shots on people. And we've been, being the aggressor and being dominant. And so I was proud of our guys from that standpoint of trusting the training, trusting that they've worked really hard against each other. Now go beat up on somebody else, that's a stranger, not just beating up on your teammates every day.
Coach Brendan Marion, Sac State football here on D-Lo and KC. I want to ask Coach just a general football question. I like talking to these coaches and just asking things that I never experienced. And I was watching 49ers Cardinals this past Sunday, and James Conner had a pretty rough injury. And I don't know how rough it is because I turned away and I didn't do no follow-up to see what it was. I just kept it moving. I can't handle that broken.
Spoiler alert, it was bad.
It was real bad. But I can't deal with all that stuff. I always wonder how you guys on the field see something like that and just line up on the next play. Because I don't know if I could do that. If I was on the team, somebody breaks their leg or, gets knocked out, gets concussed, they got to bring the stretcher. Everybody's circling around saying, hey, are you okay? The air cast comes out, all that stuff. And then, all right, here we go. Second down. I'm like, wait a minute. I need a second. How is that mentality to kind of work through those type of moments?
There was a great poet by the name of Mobb Deep who once said, there's no such thing as halfway crooks. And, it's just, that's what you sign up for, in the game, when you put that helmet on, you put those shoulder pads on, you lace your cleats up that, that's why we always say play every play like it's your last, because you really never know in the game of the only thing that's certain in football is injuries. There's going to be injuries that occur. And I think every player makes that decision in their heart and their mind when they go out there and play a full speed, violent game. There's men that run into each other at 20 miles per hour with a smile on their face trying to kill each other. But it's like, it's love. That's respect. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so that's what, we say football, we're not normal, regular people. It's not normal to run into somebody like that and have that type of mindset and take it as it's not even personal. It's just what happens when we get out here on this field. And so when injury occurs like that, I think all the players feel a sense of empathy. They feel like, man, my guy went down, but then they know this is what I signed up for.
It was Edgar Allan Prodigy that said that, by the way.
I was trying to think the whole time, was that Prodigy or Havoc? Said that line? I couldn't remember.
Edgar Allan Prodigy that said that. Coach, we appreciate you. As always, my man, good luck this Saturday. Cal Poly, right? Cal Poly this Saturday. Third game of a 3-game homestand. These home games, man, they're disappearing off the schedule quick. This season is going by fast, man. So get out, show out at Sac State, or Coach is going to be really frustrated with you. And that's the last thing you want is Coach Marion being upset with you. That's right. Coach, we appreciate you. Good luck this week. Looking forward to talking to you again next week.
No doubt. Appreciate y'all. Stingers up.
Candlestick Chronicles and the Saturday comeback over on 106.5 The End. I heard the wake-up call world premiere of some
Dancing Queen
song.
is the name of the song
by
P1 Harmony.
Harmony.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay.
They just released an all-English album.
Okay.
Yeah.
That came out today.
Yes.
I knew that from listening.
Where are they from?
Yep.
Korea.
Okay.
South Korea, to be specific.
I was listening to Doja Cat, so I missed that one. Doja Cat, Mariah Carey came out with a new album today. I got to that one.
I am going to send you an album from one of the K-pop, not K-pop, from one of the Blackpink girls. Her name's Jenny.
That sounded racist.
No, Blackpink is a very popular girl group and the most popular girl group of all time. And they all have solo projects.
Okay.
And the most popular K-pop girl group of all time.
No, I got you.
And they have solo projects. And Jenny's is really, really good.
Okay.
I think you would like it.
We'll send it to me and I will listen to it.
You guys have any thoughts on that new Ari Lennox joint?
No.
Okay.
Do you?
I like it. Yeah. She got with JD. That was a good look.
I
I like Ari Lennox though. That's my girl. Sometimes she be jumping out the window with her takes, but I like her music.
Okay.
Hmm.
All right. I know Doja did a track on the Knight Rider beat, which is fire.
That sounds
Like it's absolute
hot.
fire. Yeah, you can't really mess that up. Like Busta did it, Timberland did it. Like if you messed it up, like you really suck.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she killed it. Like
Yeah.
she absolutely killed it. We're probably in a far too lengthy discussion about whether Trevor Lawrence is a good quarterback or not. Of course, this started on the handoff as we're leading into the San Francisco 49ers and the Jacksonville Jaguars coming up this weekend. Last week, you said on the Candlestick Chronicles, which we reiterated here, that you didn't think last week's game with the Cardinals was going to come down to quarterback play. So you didn't feel like it was a big deal if Mac Jones started over Brock Purdy.
Mhm.
Now you've got a Mac Jones injury. You got Brock Purdy. You got them both kind of practicing in limited fashion this week. Do you think the quarterback is more vital to this game against Jacksonville than it was last week against Arizona?
You should no.
No. Okay.
No, I don't. I don't, and I think I would feel this way all season, because or almost all season. There's going to be games. Tampa Bay, the Rams come to mind. If the Colts continue to be awesome, the Colts would I think fall into this group. But I just don't, because of the lack of Ravens, Bills, Eagles, Chiefs, maybe not Chiefs this year, but Packers. Like the lack of high-end caliber teams on the roster, I just don't think the quarterback play is going to matter that much for the 49ers this year. I don't think they're going to be in a ton of spots where it's like, man, the delta between Mac Jones and Brock Purdy was the difference in that game. Like I don't think there's that big of a difference between those two.
Was
players.
Brock Purdy a waste of money?
No. Maybe. No. Because I keep going back to the Mac Jones thing. Like Herm Edwards said this on 95.7 The Game several years ago. He mentioned backups are backups for a reason. And when you play a backup in his role, he's good. When you play him as a starter, you might be able to get by for a couple of games, but at some point, the reason that player is the backup is going to shine, and it's going to become a problem. And that's where I think it would be with Mac Jones.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if they continued starting Mac Jones, you would be waiting for the other shoe to drop at some point. And I don't feel that way with Brock Purdy.
I see.
Yeah.
What's going on with the running game, man? I think that's a real key to, and along with injuries, with taking this offense to another level, jump starting this offense. And at first 3 games, they haven't been able to really establish anything with the run game. Is it as simple as they kind of get going as the year goes along, or is there something fundamentally wrong with that offensive line and the run game?
It might be a little bit the offensive line. I think missing George Kittle matters a lot, though. We were talking about this on the Insiders earlier, but when George Kittle's on the field, you just can't react to everything the way you can when it's Jake Tunges and Luke Farrell. You have to, every play is, you have to account for George Kittle as a receiver and go from there. And that half step, that little bit of hesitation might be the difference between a 3-yard run and an 8-yard run. And that's I think what a lot of this comes down to. And they're just not a threat really passing the ball right now. I know they're first in the league in passing yards, or whatever, first, whatever they are in passing yards. But you're not fearing Kendrick Bourne. And who else did they run out last week? Marquez Valdes-Scantling. Sky Moore had a catch.
Boy.
Like it just
had a catch on that final drive.
Yeah, unlike Ricky Pearsall,
right?
Choke artist Ricky Pearsall didn't show up in the biggest moment.
117 yards, none of them in the final 2 minutes.
None in the final 2 minutes. Like, dude, why even show up?
Yeah.
Is my question. But no, I think that there's a combination of things on top of it, and I think that this is something that we can, I think will be reckoned with maybe more when the 49ers are healthy. But like Christian McCaffrey just isn't the dude he was in 2023. I just don't think he's quite that player anymore. There's a couple of runs he's had this year where it was a good run, but man, it feels like a couple years ago he might house that. Or it feels like a couple years ago that 7-yard run probably goes for 18 or 20. And I think that's a small part of it compared to the offensive line having some struggles and not being a huge threat in the passing game, not having George Kittle on the field. But I think at least some of it is Christian McCaffrey's 29. He's played a lot of football. He's had a lot of injuries. And he might just be slowing down half a step.
That's what I see from him. He just doesn't. He's still good. He's still really good, but he doesn't look the same. 2023. I mean, that we'll look back when his career is done and say that was
An all-time
peak Christian McCaffrey. That's when he was at the best of the best. And if he might be 85% of that right now. And that's still really, really good. That's still a Pro Bowler or an All-Pro or something.
Yeah, there's been a couple of times where he got tackled this year, and it's like, oh, I feel like a couple years ago you don't go down on that one. But
hurdles a defender.
Yeah.
But if you guys feel that way today, like, is there a chance that it gets worse as the season goes along? And if so,
especially if he's touching the ball 26 times a game. What?
Who else are you going to give the ball to at this point?
Well, right. Yeah. That's it. I don't blame them.
It's needing Kittle back. It's needing Ayuk back. It's needing other offensive threats.
What they're doing right now is not sustainable because of that. Because if they keep having to do it this way, by week 11, it's going to take its toll. Now, if they can get into a situation where he's not touching the ball 25 times a game, might be able to slow that.
Well, the other aspect of that as well is like it's the receiving of Christian McCaffrey, and sometimes, and it might have been you that was talking about this, but sometimes with Brock Purdy, he might be able to push the ball down the field a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Mac Jones is like, I don't see it, or maybe Kyle Stone, if you don't see it, Christian's right there on the check down, hit the check down. The play isn't necessarily for Christian McCaffrey,
right?
But he ends up getting the football.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of those things where it's like, you can't, the quarterback isn't going to say, oh man, Pearsall's covered, Jennings is covered. There goes McCaffrey, but I don't want to use one of his touches here. let me.
It's like doing math. He's like 7. There's 4 carries.
He's on a pitch clock. A pitch count. I mean,
Chris, I'm so sorry. I can't.
Let me take the sack.
Why didn't you throw it to McCaffrey?
Coach, I saved him a touch. I saved him a touch. Coach, you're welcome.
Thank me later.
You're welcome.
Kyle, offensive genius Shanahan.
If he's taking a step back, can they still sustain being Super Bowl contenders if they keep feeding him, or do you need Pearsall to become a number 1 receiver? Like, do they need someone to develop in order, I guess, to keep that?
I think Pearsall already is a number 1 receiver.
Mm-hmm.
I think they need literally anything else. Kendrick Bourne was their second best guy on Sunday. So I think that's the bigger issue than Ricky Pearsall for me.
Yeah, I just think if they just need health. They just need health. Like if you. We talked about this before the season started, and we're almost there. It depends on what happens with Juwan Jennings on Sunday. But you go into a game with Pearsall, Juwan Jennings, DeMarcus Robinson, and actually we're not almost there because I was factoring in Kittle in that too early in the season. But once you get to the point where that's the receiving core, you go and you got Christian McCaffrey coming out of the backfield. You got Brock Purdy under center. Yeah, you're straight.
Yeah,
you're straight.
Yeah.
Like obviously, you would want more. You would want 2 number 1s. Like
of course.
But like if you have that, like that's a damn good wide receiver room.
Yeah, if they have Jennings, DeMarcus Robinson, Ricky Pearsall, George Kittle with Christian McCaffrey, then I think you have enough to get where they want to go. Does that answer that question?
Yeah, because I was just thinking more like McCaffrey was a big part, like he was elite on their last Super Bowl run and all that. So if he's taking a step back, what do you need to maintain that, I guess?
Yeah, that's Pearsall, that's Jennings. You need the same stuff from Kittle. Yeah.
And they all look different, right? Like 2021, there was no McCaffrey, and they were
A lot of
minutes
Debo.
away from, like, you would even say that was problematic looking back at it, is, man, your best receiver is your best running back. Like, how
Yeah.
are you getting to the point where you're up 10 in the fourth quarter in the NFC champion, but you found a way?
Mhm.
And I'm starting to really believe, and this isn't just a Kyle Shanahan thing, but man, a lot of this goes back to coaching. We could even talk about Kyler Murray, Trevor Lawrence, all that others.
Mhm.
That when you have a top flight coach
Mhm.
who can scheme and game plan around your deficiencies,
Mhm.
it goes so far in this league. It goes so far in this league. And I think Kyle is one of those guys. We've talked about it a number of different times. When something happens out of nowhere, he freezes a little bit. But if you give him time,
Mhm.
us four, we could be the wide receiver core, and somebody gonna be open, whether or not we catch it. And what we do with the yak, what we do with the yak, that's something different.
As soon
But
as I
he's gonna
catch the
find a
football,
way.
I'm falling down. As soon as I catch the football.
What we do with the yak, that's completely
No
different.
yak for me.
Yeah,
I don't want
chance.
any yaks.
Okay.
I'm good on that.
I'll be running for my life every play.
But
Oh no, there's Derwin James. Help me.
Well, we could just
they catch the sideline.
he
Who was yelling, run,
oh,
run?
the left tackle for the Packers.
Oh,
Who was
yeah.
yelling, run, Jordan, run!
Jordan, run!
Jesse, get down!
Exactly. Exactly.
Get down.
This is interesting. Where did they say? Ricky is not a number one in the NFL. Calm down, but he's number 3 in the league in receiving yards right now. 14 of his 16 catches have gone for first downs. They've targeted him in almost every big spot. The 4th and 2 against Arizona. You had the deep, the 45-yard catch against Seattle to put them in the red zone.
Mhm.
Like, he might not be Justin Jefferson. He might not be an elite top tier guy, but I think he's proving right now that if he's your number one receiver, you're fine.
If you're the 49ers, is he your number one wide receiver?
Yes.
Yeah.
Great.
Like,
then he's a number
yeah,
one wide
right.
receiver.
That's right.
Like,
I didn't know that was
you don't have to compare him to Justin Jefferson. You have to compare him
right.
to Brandon Ayuk and George Kittle and
that's
Kendrick Bourne and Sky Moore. That's who he gets comped
Yeah.
to.
that's the thing too. I feel like he's been good enough to where you can ask the question now, right? How does Brandon Ayuk fit in, but just where is he as far as like getting targets and all that? I think as far as like how good Ricky's been.
To I forgot who that was, but to their point in the essence of maybe the discussion, I kind of agree. Like, he's not. If I had a perfect situation, I would want Ricky, worst case scenario, next to somebody as good as him.
Hmm.
And that doesn't mean that person is a number one either. Like, I'm not asking for Justin Jefferson or anything, but Brandon Ayuk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think Brandon Ayuk is on the level of Justin Jefferson. Like, he might be a 2. Like, he's a 1-2. He's a 2-1.
Oh,
you know
boy.
what I mean? So,
Oh, God, we're
like
doing that again.
But I think that's where Ricky is. If I
I totally agree.
if I said in this situation, man, like, let's take Jawan Jennings out of there, because I think Jawan is a 3-2. Right. But let's take him out.
Mhm.
If I said,
Oh,
Ricky,
a 3-2, really?
yeah.
Okay.
If I said take
think I
Jawan
agree.
Jennings out all year long,
Uh-huh.
I wouldn't feel comfortable with Ricky being the 1 like that. And the
Right,
gap
because he's
between-
not in that tier of player.
the gap between the 1 and who you're
Mhm.
putting up at 2,
Mhm.
I think is pretty
Right,
wide.
because
What if Kittle was
because it's
there?
not an individual
That's a good
sport.
point, too.
Yeah, it's about your receiving core.
Mhm.
How many options do you have? And there's a requisite level of, like, look at Green Bay. Who's Green Bay's number 1?
Jay.
No, they don't have one. They say that constantly. And Matt LaFleur says they do that on purpose. Like, it's Jaden Reed. And if you had to pick one, I think you're probably right. I think it's probably Jaden Reed if you absolutely had to pick. But it's Dontavian Wicks. It's Christian Watson. It's Romeo Doubs. They drafted Matthew Golden. They want to be able to just bring 3 receiver sets. And, man, you know what? They had 3 really rock solid receivers out there.
You think that wins a championship, though?
I don't know why I couldn't. Who's the Ravens number 1?
They haven't won a championship.
Who's
And
the
that might
Bills
be the
number 1?
problem. They haven't won a championship.
Okay, right. Okay,
That
so
might be the
are we
problem.
taking them off of the? Are we taking them out of the picture then?
we're not taking him out of the picture, but when you talk about going up against a team that has an A.J. Brown or a Travis Kelce, that might be the reason why we can't get over the hump. It might, I don't know, but it might be. Because when the chips are down, Mahomes can go there.
Sure.
When it's not like, where am I going to? Well, let me see what the matchup is here. Like, I wish that was the case because that's usually what happens with Kyle and the 49ers. But how many times have we said, hey, man, just get the ball to Kittle. Just give him the ball.
Right.
We don't need this. Well, my scheme is going to get you. Nah, man, force feed him.
Do the Packers have a quarterback good enough to get to the Super Bowl without number one receivers, though? Because like Lamar and Josh Allen are Hall of Fame type quarterbacks, so maybe they can survive that. Can the Packers?
Kenny, you're not allowed to answer.
I don't know yet, man. I don't know.
I think that's a perfectly fair answer. Yeah. It's a perfectly fair.
So, like, I see the vision.
It's fairer than hell no, which would have been Kenny's answer.
I see the vision with Jordan Love, right? Like you see the mobility, the arm strength, and you see there's a couple plays a game where you're like, man, this is a player. But then there's also a handful of times a game like, ugh, this is the guy. But I don't know.
Yeah, he's not a top tier quarterback yet in the league, no matter how bad they try to make him one. They being the people who talk about this game. The defense to me though feels like the story of this game. And maybe it's the defenses for both football teams. It's the 49ers adjusting to life without Nick Bosa, which they have lived through before, they have seen before. And it's the emergence of this Jacksonville Jaguars defense, which we think is good. It looks to be good, but they're caught up in this muck of not really knowing what the Jaguars are as a football team. But so far, their defense looks really good. That, to me, I think will be the focal point of the game that we're watching together at Baker Family Wines this Sunday at 1:00.
Yeah, I would agree with you because I don't think either of these offenses is going to get into a super good rhythm.
Right.
It's just and again, I think that the Jags, I don't know what they are because the competition they've played. And the 49ers, I don't know what they are because of like Damian just said. There's no Nick Bosa on the field. So what does that look like? And we might be confident that, yeah, you know what, Robert Saleh, Fred Warner, they still got enough talent there that they'll figure it out. But also that is a massive loss that it's really difficult to just go, oh, they're, I think, second or third in the league in points allowed right now. And they're like second or third in yards per play allowed. Yeah, they'll just keep that up because of that. Like, maybe not. Like that's so I think we're going to learn a lot about both the 49ers and the Jags this week.
I think, I'm not sure, a lot of it might have been going on. I know the response was going on during your show, but do you have any thoughts about Saleh talking about the legal sign stealing? Did you catch that?
Yeah. Said they're pretty damn good at stealing signs.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that, with them doing that.
Of course you don't.
I don't think.
Go blue.
I don't know. I don't think I have a problem with Saleh bringing it up. I'm not sure why he brought it up. Like, why would you bring that up? But
what was I saw the quote. I did not see the question.
I don't know
what the question was. Okay.
I don't know.
Luckily we have the technology to find this.
He had said something to the effect of, man, they're really good at legal sign stealing. So you got to make sure our communication is on point. That, the signals that we have, we're locked tight with them and everything. And then Liam Cohen responded. I haven't seen his response yet, but he responded to that this morning.
So the question was, what do you think will be the biggest challenge specifically against the Jaguars without Nick Bosa out there? What have you been doing this week for preparation to combat that possible challenge? That's it. Okay. Said Jacksonville, this is quote, Jacksonville, this is a very young but talented group. Liam and his staff, a couple of guys coming from Minnesota, they've got legally a really advanced signal stealing type system where they always find a way to put themselves in an advantageous position. They do a great job with it. And then somebody asked him to elaborate, who are they stealing signals from? And he said, that's the ultimate trick. Whether it's people from the sideline or whether it's our individual hand signals, whatever nugget they can find, they catch it. They always happen to find themselves in good situations based on the coverage you show. There's nothing illegal about it. So remember there was more. If you want to go Google it, if you want to read the full quote. Remember the Seahawks did this to Peyton Manning in the Super Bowl.
Mm.
And it was a part of the reason that they boat raced him is because Manning would get to the line, he'd do his hand signals, and the Seahawks were like, bet he's going to run a slant now. Let's make sure to cut. And I don't have an issue with that at all.
No.
I have an issue when you do it illegally, when you take improper means to videotape and do all that. But if you're standing on the sideline and you're able to relay, like, all right, let's see, they do this hand sign, and then they ran this coverage. Okay, and you log that. You have a way to do it. Then be better with your signals.
Yeah, I don't have any problem with it at all. And hell, we talk about like videotapes and all jokes aside, like that's game film. If I'm watching game film and I've watched 3 straight games of you, and when you do one of these, that means it's a slant. Like, yeah, I'm gonna pick up on that.
Yeah, you're not gonna go, oh, well, I know a slant's coming, but God, I don't want to be stealing signals.
Right. I just don't. The one thing that kind of struck me about it was Salah bringing it up.
Well, yeah, I think that's when he brings up what are the challenges and what have you been working on. I think it's like, yeah, hey, we've spent time in practice this week or in meetings making sure that we're changing what our signals normally are, or that we know that, hey, first quarter it's going to be this signal, second quarter it's going to be this. I think that he probably brought it up because they've spent legitimate hours working on combating.
He gave a real answer.
Yeah.
As opposed to
well, they're tough up front. They get after the quarterback. They're really sound in their. That's Kyle Shanahan. Every week somebody asks him, hey, what have you seen from Team X defense on tape? Oh, they've got a really good group. They get after the quarterback. They're really sound in their coverages. They run and hit. That's a really talented team. Every week. Stop asking the question. Sorry.
That's a good Chicago Shanahan. Yeah. Thanks. Kyle is definitely one of those guys who does not enjoy the media aspect of this.
So here's I think he's fine with the media aspect of it. I don't think he likes
specific media members.
Well, I'm not gonna say that. You're not wrong.
Yeah, right.
I'm not gonna say it.
Yeah.
But no, I think he doesn't like we all know he's not gonna give info on injured guys. And so when somebody goes, hey, Brock Purdy is questionable this week, how likely is it that he's going to play? He's questionable. How much did he work? How much did he do in practice? He was limited. Like, he's not going to divulge that info. Like, at some point, I know you might be able to say, like, oh, well, I've got to ask. All right, I guess. But that's what I think it annoys him. And that's what I think he doesn't like about it. But I think if you ask legit, real football questions, he gives real answers.
Yeah, we've been waiting for this for a while,
Yes,
man. Dusty Baker here in studio with us. Baker Family Wines. We're going to be out there on Sunday watching football, playing games, drinking wine. Chick, the winemaker, is here.
Man.
So we're going to have a conversation about how all of this, because you've told me and KC the story before about Dusty just reached out saying, hey, I want to make wine.
Well, that's how it started. Yeah. He was what I call a consumer brand ambassador at Woodbridge Winery, and he has a different part of the story there. But anyway, he reached out to me a couple of years later and said, hey, I want to put a vineyard in on my property. And I said, well, why? It was one of those things. And he says, well, because I couldn't put a bass pond on the property because
I was gone, but they said I flood my neighbor.
He flood his neighbors. So, okay, the vineyard's the next best thing. So, and then what variety did you want to?
I want a Cabernet.
And why did you want Cabernet?
Well, that's what I like to drink.
Yeah. And what did I tell you?
He told me I couldn't have it because it's too hot. In Sacramento.
Yeah, so if you wanted, it's remember, this whole sack tomato kind of thing,
That's what they used to call it, sack of tomatoes.
Sack of tomato, and that's what his Cabernet would have tasted like.
Yeah.
So what did I tell you we were going to plant?
He told me we were going to plant Syrah.
Yeah.
And see what happened, I was on the Mondavi advisory staff.
Okay.
And so I would go to different lunches and dinners around the country with my coaching staff. And they pay me like pretty good money to go to dinner, and then they'd give me 2 cases of wine a month. From all of their, Francisco Baldi, from all the ones that they
Good
had.
deal right there.
Oh, a heck of a deal.
It's good. It's a better deal than I had. Working every day for that.
And then my coaches, they would give them, per dinner, and then they give them a case of wine a month. So this is how I got started. And next thing I know, there was a brother named Rodney Williams, and so
You and I were
Rodney
good friends.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and Rodney was a brother who picked out all my wines every month, and so he really taught me about the different wines, the expensive from the not expensive, and so and he always picked out the expensive for me, and so I'm the one that asked Rodney. I said, Rodney, can you line me up with the dude that can teach me everything about about growing grapes, putting in the wires and the irrigation and everything. And this was when I was building a house, and it says in the Bible, plant your crops and vineyards, before you move in the house. And that makes sense because you have something to eat. While you're building your house versus you build your house, you ain't got nothing to eat. And so that's how I got started. Chick, he helped me. I mean, he's been teaching me everything. The sunny side, the grapes on this side, the north side, the shaded side, and so when to turn the water on, when not to turn the water on. The only thing is, see, he likes it when I'm home and out of a job.
Oh yeah,
he can tell
when
me
you
what
were
to
out
do.
of a job.
Yeah.
No, exactly. I've been out of a job 3 or 4 times. I mean, you wouldn't be on 5 teams if you weren't out of a job.
But we were talking about this earlier.
Yeah,
you were out of a job, but you were like signed immediately. We were trying to
no,
figure
I
out,
wasn't signed immediately.
because you went from the Giants to the Cubs.
No, that was immediately.
And then Cubs to Reds was immediately, wasn't
No,
it?
that was 2 years. I had a 2-year break. Yeah, and in between
that's 2 years of my life in that vineyard.
Yeah, exactly. Because he would tell me what to do, and I'd be out there working in that hot sun in Sacramento. So, like everywhere I went, other than the Cub job, my phone didn't ring at all.
Really? It felt like it was. It felt
no.
like it was back to back.
Well, it felt like it, yeah, but it wasn't.
I wasn't the one sitting at home either.
Yeah, exactly, but I wasn't exactly sitting around.
Yeah.
Like I'm always do something. My daddy told me, "Hey, son, you gotta stay busy, and you gotta show people that you can do more than just play ball." And so my dad had rent houses. My dad worked 2 jobs for 36 years. He worked at McClellan, Sears, and my mom worked and went to school. And so my parents, they didn't like you just sitting around doing nothing, because anytime I told my dad I didn't have nothing to do, he made me go pull some weeds.
You're gonna find something for you to do.
Yeah, and I hear about those weeds all the time.
I hate weeds to this day.
So I don't know what 5-6 years elapsed, and Dusty says, "Hey, let's form a company." And
No, first I said
no.
First, before the company, I was with Jerry Royster, Jerry Manuel, Roland Office. All the brothers would get together every year.
Yeah.
And so we bottled our first. Our first bottles of wine.
Okay.
And it was they're called shiners. I mean, it's not like moonshine, but it's kind of like moonshine because it's not legal yet. And so I was marking them. Hey man, we got this, we got that. And then
keep talking. I'm gonna pull this close.
Yeah,
Just keep
there you
talking.
go.
Good.
And so the guys, the brothers all told me, hey man, this tastes pretty good. I said, really?
Yeah.
And I said, in our agreement,
They'd want to buy it too.
Yeah.
They'd want to buy it.
Yeah, we couldn't
Dusty
sell
goes,
it.
We couldn't sell it.
Right.
So Dusty would say, well, here, have another bottle.
I just give it to
But
you.
no, we want to buy it.
Right.
Yeah. But I mean, then that's how we got started. And then our agreement was we weren't going to necessarily deal with quantity. We were going to deal with quality. And I don't want anybody saying, hey man, because I had some Johnny Bench Scotch years ago. Usually I don't say the name. And
I was going to say,
dude, it was the worst. And I'm a Scotch drinker.
Okay.
Also, and it was the worst stuff. I took one sip and I told Chick, I said, man, don't you put my name on something that people are going to be talking stuff on me.
How long did it take for you to get it to your quality, to your satisfaction of the taste? Was it, some times of experimenting with what you wanted to taste
not
like?
long.
no, not long. And I think from a winemaker standpoint, we take a look at each individual lot, and we look at it for its merits and where where the wine is sort of telling us where it wants to go so that we can blend it optimally.
Mhm.
Because as Dusty says, we're not going to put anything with his name on it that is less than quality. I mean, yeah, we could probably produce a wine out there for $10 a bottle, but it's not going to be the good quality that it is.
Right.
And so we look at it, and the other person in the picture here is Polly, my wife, and she she and I will just sit down, and then we'll go ahead and we'll blend the wines, and then we bring in Dusty here, and then he'll always ask us what this is, and we just won't tell him.
Hey, man, it's a quiz, and he makes me like
quiz. It's the whole education part.
Yeah, and I'm usually 80% right, so I give myself a B.
Yeah,
and guessing what it is.
Yeah, and then so really it's the quality behind the bottle,
Right.
or it's quality in the bottle, and that's really what our mantra is. And so 2012 is when we started the company in San Francisco on Treasure Island. We moved the company to West Sacramento in 2019ish or something like
Best
that.
decision you ever made. Brought it back to Sacramento.
We brought it back to Sacramento.
Yeah.
I mean, he lives right around the corner, and I live right across the river. So it just sort of made a lot of sense. You cannot shorten up 90 miles.
No way.
No way.
And especially with the traffic getting worse every
Worse by
day.
the day.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
We were just talking about that yesterday.
Yeah, it was tough.
Yeah, and so that's where we that's where we brought it. We produce and bottle everything in West Sacramento on Industrial Boulevard. It is truly a craft-oriented winery. Every bottle, and when he's in town, he's helping to bottle. I mean, he's helping it any chance he can get. Every bottle is touched by a human. I mean, there's no automation here. I mean, it is just us just putting together our heart and soul.
The only thing is, see, my wife, she told me she ain't gonna drink any if I put my feet on them.
He didn't say. By the way, you guys are off the hook this weekend because there's no fruit for Toe Jam Red. Okay,
Chick was trying to get us to squash grapes this weekend out of
no, the fruit's all done. We brought it
out of Baker Family Wines. For those watching or listening, we're drinking a 2022 Pinot Noir here. From Baker Family Wines. You can pick these up at the Nugget in Granite Bay has them. We're going to get a list of all of the Nuggets that carry them so we can tell you exactly where to go. Look for that familiar baseball stitch right here in the Baker Family Wines logo. I can tell you one thing, Dusty, we were talking about how important it was when you put your name on something and you're involved in something, you own a company. There's a lot of like one of the things is spirits. And like Total Wine gets fooled by this. There's a lot of companies that get fooled by Black-owned labels when they're not Black-owned labels. They're brands that slapped E40's name on it and gave him equity in it, and now people think that that's E40's line of Prosecco or it's Snoop Dogg's line of whatever, or like people for years up until a year ago thought Puff owned Ciroc.
Right.
All of these companies above own these. So knowing that is Dusty Baker behind Baker Family Wines is a big deal to a lot of us.
And it's also, Hank Aaron's one of our partners.
Come on. That's
exactly.
The one, too.
There you go.
That's the one.
There you
right
go.
there.
Yeah. See, and I took Hank and Mr. Moorhead. He's the largest exotic car dealer in America on the East Coast.
Wow.
And so, like, I took him to Opus One, and then Hank goes, "Hey, man, I want to be part of your company." I'm like, "Man, I don't need that pressure because I don't know how I can pay you back, or when I can pay you back."
Yeah.
And he told me, "Don't worry about it." And then I'm like, "I can't do it." And then he says, "Look, boy," and see when he called me, you know that voice. Look,
I've
boy.
heard that once or twice.
Yeah, and he says, "Look, I'm gonna give you some money. I'm gonna make you take me as part of your company." And I says, "Okay," but I says, "What's the stipulation?" Because I know him. And he goes, "Stipulation is you gotta make me a bold Cabernet Sauvignon." And so then I went to Chick. I said, "Hey, man, look, the Hammer he said he got to be part of our company.
And he brought it to me in September.
Right.
We really had to pull that one out of our,
I know.
out of our hat.
Hey,
So,
and then not only that, it was the labeling that MLB wouldn't give us, permission for, put the arrow on the Braves on the side, right? Jay?
Really?
yeah. No, we've got permission from MLB because the actual, is it the arrow? No, it's the feather.
Right.
Yeah, it's the feather that actually is trademarked by MLB, and Hank and the family didn't mind, and the Braves didn't mind, but
Yeah.
we had to go to MLB for permission.
They didn't
It
give
is
any.
there.
Come on, it's Dusty Baker with Hank Aaron. They didn't give no kind of push.
No. There's no. In the end, MLB was very gracious, and they said, for everything that
Mhm.
that Hank has done for MLB, for Dusty, that's everything that's done, for MLB. It was just, sort of, hey, let's do it.
Absolutely.
Let's make it.
It was good.
Let's make it happen. And it's a wonderful wine.
Right.
So,
I'm a cab guy too, so I'm excited to open that bottle.
Okay. Yeah. Mhm.
I'm like Dusty. I like those dark, rich cabs.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. And that particular Cabernet, it's a little bit different because it's more of an old world Cabernet. So I know that a lot of people love Napa Cabernet. This one's actually coming out of really high elevation vineyard in the Sierra foothills. So it's about 2,500 foot elevation. So and the soil sort of they're volcanic soils, but it's warm by day and it's cool by night, just like it is in Bordeaux, where the Cabernets actually have originated in the world there.
See, that's why I like my partner, because when he mentions all these places, he's been there, and he's taking students like every summer to France and Italy and all these places.
Well, I can
And
take
he's a
adults
student,
there
man.
too.
I
Yeah,
know.
Thank you, man.
There you go. Come on, Casey. There
And
you
see,
go.
he was head of viticulture at UC Davis.
Well, I wasn't the head. I
You
mean,
were
I
damn
ran the
near the head.
winery there. Okay.
Yeah, okay, come on now. That's what I'm telling
He
people.
walked into
anyway.
the place one day and he goes, "You run this place?"
Yeah.
And then you look at our little, winery in West Sacramento, and it's like,
It's okay.
hey, we're comfortable.
It's ours,
It's old,
you know?
old world.
Let's
Right.
talk about that real quick, because obviously when you think wine, you think California, you're thinking Napa. Now you're thinking Lodi, because Lodi is buzzing right now.
Mhm.
Having it in West Sacramento, why was that so important for you guys to have it there? Because to me, as somebody that lives, close to that area, lives in
Right.
Elk Grove, not far from it, that is a major.
Well, but
selling point.
honestly, we try to get in Sacramento first.
Mm.
And there was a bunch of red tape and a bunch of stuff that, we had to man, this is too much.
Mm.
And then we met some people from West Sac, and they were like, come on in. And I was like, really? And I said, when? They said, tomorrow. I said, tomorrow? Because the other, my hometown of Sacramento,
Yeah.
they were like 6 months or 3 months.
And it was like,
and
I
it was-
called him and I said,
Cost
how
him
well
a
do you
lot.
know this person? And he goes, it'll cost me $1 million if I do that.
Yeah, you crazy. Thank you. So sometimes you got to go with, what you know.
Yeah.
And so this is,
But
that's
it's-
why we chose West Sac. But West Sac, I've gotten lost because when I was a kid, you didn't really go to West Sac. And then I got lost one day in West Sac when I was looking around, and man, I was like, man, West Sac is booming out there.
It is.
And,
It is.
some of those houses on that back canal back there,
Yeah.
the Deepwater Channel, and the horses, and I was like, man, this is really changed from when I was here. So,
Absolutely. It's really cool that you guys are in West Sacramento, though.
Thank you.
That's, like I said, you talk about wine tasting and having a nice experience. Usually, I got to go to Napa, or I got to go even out to Lubbock. Nah, it's right there. It's right there in West Sac, man, centrally located. Whether you're talking about Elk Grove, whether you're talking about Rockland, whether you're
Right.
talking about Rancho, whatever. This doesn't take long to get to West Sac and get the Baker family
Well, see,
wines. And that's what I love about it.
Sac. I love the proximity of everything.
Mhm.
I've told people that the guys ask me, why Sac? Because, here's a guy from, jump off Oklahoma and he cracking on Sac. And I said, man, how you going to crack on Sac? I said, you ain't never been there. I said, man, we're just halfway between Lake Tahoe and San Francisco.
right.
Yeah, in fact, the other
And
day,
Napa right there.
Reverend Chris from Phoenix, Arizona. I'm just going to give him a plug because you brought that up. He actually watches this podcast, so he might be watching right now.
Oh, that's
He
terrific.
came in and he said, well, I said, how did you hear about this? And he says, oh, I heard some podcasts. And I said, was it D-Lo and Casey? And he goes, yeah, I think that's who it was.
That's terrific.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Yeah,
I think
there
that's
you
who it
go.
was. I'll
Take
take
the
it.
plug.
I'll
Yeah,
take it.
there you go.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Casey and I, you were talking about Hammer and Hank Aaron earlier, and Casey and I were just marveling at how many epic Major League Baseball moments you've been a part of. And one of them was 7-15. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
You were
I was there at 7-14, 15, 11, a whole bunch of them. And, I didn't know how fortunate I was to be a young player, to been with the Braves at the time, because there was I prayed the night for the draft that I didn't get drafted by the Atlanta Braves, because that was, the epicenter of, civil rights, and they had all kind of like trouble in the South and bringing out dogs and horses and
Jim Crow.
Yeah, Jim Crow and the Klan and fire hoses. And I was like, Lord, please, I don't want to go to the South. And Hank, I did get drafted by the Braves, and I said, Lord, you didn't hear me. And so, but Hank Aaron promised my mom that he would take care of me as if I was his son. But that was the best thing that ever happened to me, because at that time you go down there, like I met Ted Abernathy and to this day, the ambassador Andrew Young, and Jesse Jackson. I mean, you name them. I met them all. Herman Russell. I met them all through Hank Aaron.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like their little son that they were schooling, and it really helped because my mom was going to school at the time. She was at Sac City and Sac State studying Black history, and then she ended up being an African studies teacher at Sac City. So this kind of like brought a lot of things to fruition.
Yeah.
A lot of the books my mother made me read.
Yeah.
Berkeley Carmichael and H. Rap Brown, Malcolm X, and then you name them, I read them all.
Brought it full circle.
Brought it full circle, and you really understood, what the struggle was all about at that time, and to see so many prosperous Black people at that time was so refreshing. And then, where I ate lunch, Ralph Garr and myself, at the Busy Bee, and it was right at the bottom of all the Black colleges, Morehouse, Morris Brown, Clark, Spelman. I mean, we were there like, every day.
Yeah.
And you just sort of take these things for granted until you go, someplace else, and then you like, hey man, this is one of the best things that happened to me.
That's one of the cool things about Atlanta. Being here from California and Sacramento, it's diverse, but the professionals and the high level professionals that you see in a place in Atlanta that look like you is when you see it for the first time, it's awe inspiring. It's like, wow, like this guy, he owns this this dental.
Hey man, I went in some of the houses and they had like 2 or 3 color TVs, and my mom didn't even have a color TV. And I think we're from California, and I was like, I got my mom's first color TV when I was on a post game show. I hit a home run against Chicago Cubs. I thought that was the biggest thing on earth. Like, hey mom, I got you a color TV, And I go to some of these houses, they had 3 and 4 and 5 color TVs, a Mercedes outside, and I was like, dang man, somebody been lying to me.
All those Black professionals, like you said, the universities that are there, the HBCUs that are there too, and the professors, the presidents of the universities that look just.
Well, and it helped because my roommate Ralph Garr went to Grambling, and so I go to Grambling every year to pick up Ralph, and then we drive to Florida, and I drop him off on the way back, and then I met a pretty little girl. I met Ralph's girlfriend's younger sister. You always go for the baby sister. And so that's who I ended up marrying. But I mean, I went to Grambling, I'd never seen that many, pretty little sisters in my, not in one place at one time.
Ralph, you never told me that.
I didn't tell you that.
No, Ralph never told me that either.
Well, we say none of your business.
Oh Oh man. So look, I wanted to ask Dusty real quick because so D'Lo saw me today and he saw me in my Giants gear and he's like, "Oh, pandering to Dusty, pandering to." But the story is, every time I see Dusty at either here or at a Kings game, I'm like, "Dusty, you my man. You like Unc to me, man." And I'm a big Giants fan. And I'm
My
big,
son love you.
Yeah, that's my boy
Yeah,
too. That's my boy. Shout out Darren. But I'm like, yeah, I'm a big Giants fan, man. I grew up under you, Dusty, man. He'd be like, yeah, with that Yankees hat on, right? Or a Reds hat. And I said, Dusty, today.
Now you got the upside down one.
Yeah. I got the Giants gear on right here, man. But one of the great stats that I remember from your era with the Giants, obviously you had 93, and that was epic. In 94, I thought you guys were gonna make a push with Matt Williams and everything before the strike hit. But then you had 95, 96. Once you got to 97 to 2002, I think I saw somewhere you guys played like only 12 games that quote didn't matter. Like you were either in the race or leading or anything. And the year that it didn't matter, quote unquote, was 99, which was special because it was the last year of the stick. So that's just a testament to your era of Giants managing that lives with us forever, lives with the franchise, lives with fans like me forever. How exciting was that time as you with you as a Giants manager?
To see us go from the bottom to the top and then stay on top for a period of time. That's the hardest thing to do, is stay on top, because people shooting at you and you're drafting low,
right?
Like some teams draft number 1 or 2 every year for 10 years and still can't figure it out, and so like scouting is so very, very important. The mindset of the organization, like your organizational philosophy and theory, and the fact that, hey son, you're here with us, but hey man, you better come with it, and we come to win.
Right.
This is something, this is something that we instill from the time they first get there. And what's so great about it is that me as a manager, I didn't have to do it all the time. Or my coaches, I had players that would take care of it. Barry Bonds, Will Clark, Robbie Thompson, Willie McGee. I mean, one of my big time, and when I think about the great players that I had during that time, players and pitchers, I mean, guys that I could depend on, and there's nothing better than the feeling that you can trust a guy. Under this situation, he may not come through, but I know he ain't scared. Because see, you'd be surprised. There's a lot of cats out there that get scared, and so I'd rather have a young, brave dude that ain't that good than I would a old, great player that's scared. And so, like, when I look back, I had Ellis Burks and Kenny Lofton and Jeff Kent. Jeff Kent, one of the most underrated dudes. Richard Rea, and then I had the youngsters coming up like Royce Clayton and Darren Lewis, who my son named after.
Really?
And Matty, he's called a big Marine, because he was like, he was about taking care.
Business.
No
nonsense.
Oh yeah, because I tell you a story. One day Matt Williams was a rookie, and Kevin, he's from San Diego.
Oh yeah, that was my first favorite player.
Oh dude, I love Kevin Mitchell.
Boy. That was my first favorite.
Oh yeah, and so like when I was a kid coming up, I'd get to the cage first, and then Hank Aaron say, "Hey man, look," and then Rico Cartier, look. And at the end of the day, I hit last, even though I was at the cage first. This is what happened.
Yeah.
And so Mitch was practicing that same thing. So he told Matty, he said, "Hey man, you gotta wait." And Matty said, "Well, I was here first." And he goes, "Hey man, I'll break your frame if you don't get out here." And so I swear. So he got out of there. And so I was a batting coach. And so Mitch said, meet me at the batting cage. I said, "Oh Lord, I gotta go referee with these two big old bulls in here." So I get there, Matty's waiting on, and Mitch come down there, and Mitch like, "Oh, you showed up?" And Matty said, "Yeah, man, you told me to come down here." And so Mitch goes, "Man, I like you," and like you call the dude's bluff.
Yeah.
And they became best friends. So I said, "Matty, come here, man." I said, "Dude, I know you had to be a little scared." He goes, "Man, I was scared to death." But he said, "Man, I had to go get my ass whooping." That's what he said. And so he had mad respect from from everybody from the time he was a little rookie.
Yeah. Man.
Can we steal a little bit more of your time? Can you guys hang out a
Yeah.
little bit longer?
Yeah,
Yeah, because we haven't even scratched the
Man,
surface
I ain't got
of
nothing
things.
to do except go and clean the garage.
In that case,
Hey, no, we got no, hey.
I'm
If
just gonna
Mrs.
go
Baker's
take a
listening,
nap.
no, we're gonna need Dusty. We're gonna need Dusty for a little bit. So don't see Dusty just like everybody else. He's trying to avoid the chores. Yeah, he's just like
I'm
us.
working, man.
We'll come back. We've got a lot more to talk about
We
with
got a
Dusty and
Rosado
Chick.
open, too.
We're gonna be at Baker Family Wines this Sunday at 1:00. We're gonna be watching football. We're gonna be sipping wine. Dusty's gonna be out there with us. It's gonna be a great time. 1:00 this Sunday. We'll come back more with Dusty Baker here on Sacramento Sports Leader ESPN 1320. All right, Dusty Baker hanging out here in studio with us. The winemaker Chick here with us as well. We're going to be at Baker Family Wines this Sunday. We'll hope you'll come hang out with us. The 49ers are going to be playing football. We got the Chiefs and the Ravens that afternoon. We're going to get there at 1:00. We're going to be drinking wine. Chick has promised some surprises. Apparently, me and Casey got some competitions going on
yeah,
this
brother.
weekend. We got some competitions going on.
I don't know about this yet. Go ahead.
It's all a surprise.
And Dusty's going to be out there with us as well.
How do you do beer pong? Or
Well, we're gonna figure it out. I was just
well,
gonna make
yes,
sure.
you will.
I was gonna make sure. I got to make sure not to wear white, right?
Oh no.
Oh well. You
No.
can.
Don't
can.
wear white.
Yeah.
All right,
No,
man.
that's
I'll
like-
just,
That's like wearing white to an Italian restaurant.
I wear
Little
I'll
pasta,
be ready.
you know,
Yeah,
no,
I'll be
it's-
ready.
It's
We
all good.
have-
It's all fun games.
We have
Yeah.
a very regular conversation on this show, and there is no better person to ask than you. Who is the greatest baseball player you've ever seen?
Oh man. Well, the greatest one I ever had on my team is Barry Bonds. But boy, I gotta go with Hank Aaron since I played with him. But I mean, it's hard to beat Willie Mays too.
Those are the
I'm
two
just-
we always land on.
I'm
Barry.
just telling you because Willie, Hank made everything look easy. Willie made everything look exciting. And I mean, Willie was probably faster, probably threw harder. Both of them were geniuses on the baseball field, including Barry.
Yeah.
You know, they saw things that most people didn't see, or if they saw it, it was too late. And so, those three guys. And I tell you who's in there in that group that most people don't realize was Reggie Smith. Because Reggie Smith was one of the baddest boys, that I played with. And I mean, he was fierce, man. Switch hit, could run, had a cannon, and you didn't want to, we'd get in a scuffle with somebody, and I look for his back. I just feel around a little bit for his back.
Right.
I know, oh yeah, come on.
We
boy.
good now.
Oh, I'm real
But
good.
either good. I'm talking crazy once
Ain't
I got
nobody gonna hit me in the back of my head. I tell you that.
I'm 42, so obviously I didn't see Willie, didn't see Hank. I studied as much as I could, but I watched all of Barry's career,
Mhm.
and it's an impossible conversation to have.
Yes, it is.
I can't imagine, and it could be the case. But I can't imagine a baseball player being better than Barry Bonds. He was the quintessential 5-tool guy.
But it's kind of like I remember when they was trying to figure out who the best boxer of all time was, and then they had these fake boxing matches. I don't know if you all ever saw it. He had Joe Louis facing
Muhammad Ali.
and it's like how do you compare greatness of generations?
Right. Right.
I mean, it's hard.
Yeah.
It happens today with Bill Russell and Wilt
Yes.
Chamberlain and
Correct.
LeBron and Michael and
Oh yeah, I mean, and it's hard, because the games change. The difference, like when Barry played, and when I played, and Hank and those guys, is that was a knockdown pitch. Because the first thing they would do back in the day, they would say, okay, we know this kid can hit a fastball because he wouldn't be here from the minor league. Well, let's see if he can hit a curveball. Then he hit a curveball. And then they say, let's see if we can hit a slider. And then here come a changeup, see if he hit this one. And then if you hit all those, then they would knock you down. No, they would not get you off the plate. They'd knock you down.
They made sure they get there.
Oh yeah. And then there was a saying, let's see how he hits on his back. You know what I mean? And there was more intimidation.
Yeah.
But as a cost of the players and the salaries went up, you know, the ownership was protecting their interests because they shouldn't, you know, they couldn't afford for Barry or McGuire or Sammy, these guys to get hurt and lose that gate. Yeah. And so, you know, it's just, it was different. I mean, I tell you, you know, I had Altuve at my house last night, and he told me that these kids now are throwing the ball harder, and he says they're you know, the movement on it, the sinker, the sweeper is more dramatic in throwing the ball up. And you know, Altuve, all his life he's been seeing the ball up. Right. You know what I mean?
I don't know how you get to half.
Dude, hey man, I call him Mighty Mouse. So one day I called him, I said, hey man, I said, you Mighty Mouse. Me no mouse. I said, no. I said, dude, let me tell you, do you know who Mighty is? He says, no, I don't know Mighty. So I said, you go home and look up Mighty. Mighty was kicking them cats' butt, and he had all the little mooses and little girlfriends. I said, next day, oh, Mighty Mouse bad dude. I said, oh yeah, he sure is.
I want to ask you another question about some of the guys that you've managed outside of Barry. We'll leave Barry out of this. I'm gonna ask you who's the best player that you ever managed, and I'm gonna say who I think it might be. Is it Carlos Correa? No. Carlos was bad.
Carlos bad dude.
Carlos,
yeah, but I had D. Lee. You know,
Sacramento, El Camino, baby.
I mean, nothing against Carlos, but I had D. Lee. I had Ellis Burks. I mean, this cat was. I mean, Sammy Sosa. You know,
Eric Lee almost won the Triple Crown.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, and I'm telling you, I have seen some. I mean, some. You know, I had some bad dudes on my team.
Did you have Bryce in Washington?
Yeah, I had Bryce in Washington as a kid. Yeah. Oh yeah, I mean, I'm not taking nothing away from him.
I get you.
Because I love Carlos. I mean, that's my wife's favorite player, Carlos Correa. You know, I mean, and he come up, you know, kissing her butt, you know, knowing and look at me. And, you know, he's in town. His birthday was yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, him and Jeremy Pena, their birthdays on the same day.
Okay.
And see, I love them dudes, man. Yeah. I mean, I and me and the Latin dudes really had no problem getting along because I played in Venezuela, Mexico, and Puerto Rico. So, you know, I understand their struggle too. And back in the day, you know, the only way you got a single room if there was an odd number of blacks or Latins, because they wouldn't rent a white dude and a brother in the same room. And so the Latins and the brothers had to live, you know, most of the time down the ghetto, you know, down the flat someplace. And I talked to Dorinda Aaron, who was Hank's youngest daughter, and Hank's kids were closer in age to me than I was to Hank. And so she was telling me about her godfather, Felix Mantilla, and that was Hank's roommate back in Milwaukee. Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
You've talked a lot about the Astros recently. I know for us and for fans of Dusty Baker, that World Series championship you got, you know, a handful of years ago meant a lot to us. What did it mean to you?
Well, actually, number one, you know, I had come close half a dozen times. You know, I only made one World Series, but it seemed like something would always happen, like in that championship series, and something would always happen. Seemed like in Game 6, you know, that was my nemesis. You know, I mean, I'm trying not to think about it.
Goddamn Bartman! I knew Bartman was gonna. I knew Bartman was gonna come out.
But honestly, he always. I asked him one day. I said, "So how does this happen?" He goes, "Well, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink." So it had nothing to do with the management. It had something to do with, you know,
just sometimes, you know, I don't blame Bartman at all.
You blame Alex Gonzalez.
Come on, man. I tell you, you guys are cold, man.
Hey,
you tell the truth, but you're cold. Still cold.
Edit this out. We're gonna edit this out. We're gonna edit this out.
No, but I mean, I tell you, those were, you know, those were some fun times. I mean, and you think about it, and my dad, one of the last things he told me in the World Series of 2002, and after the game, well, in Game 6 when we had the big lead, and then he told me, he said, "Son, you know, like if you didn't win that one and the pennant tonight, I don't know if you're ever going to win one." And you know, back in the day, the old dudes, you know, they used to use negative motivation as as a incentive.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, you can't use negative motivation; it doesn't work.
Mhm.
But that was my reasoning the whole time for keep coming back and managing, because I love my dad. My dad's my biggest supporter, but I, as a son, you want to prove your dad wrong.
Yeah.
And that was on my mind. And then number two, right after that, I thought about how I was going to win, number two, and we damn near got back to the World Series the next year. Because see, the thing about it in Houston, we could have went to the World Series 4 years in a row, and we were at Game 7 in the ALCS both times. ALCS.
Yeah.
And so, I still got a little bit of energy left.
Yeah.
Still got a little bit of incentive. That's why I'm taking. I'm going to Nicaragua. I'm taking Nicaraguan team to the WBC.
Well, at WBC, that's gonna be fire too.
It's going to be
I
fun.
was
And
gonna say,
part of the reason is because Nicaragua got a whole bunch of African slaves, that in Central America, period.
Yeah.
And so I told my wife and my brother that, this is my Marcus Garvey World Tour.
I see you. There we go.
This is said about like winners a lot, because I asked you about what it was like to finally win that one, and you pointed out the ones you lost. Do you think about the ones you lost more than the one that you won?
Yeah. I mean, I think about the ones we lost because I in my mind, should have won like 4, realistically. And in my mind, if I just won 2, I'd probably just only been on 3 teams instead of 5. Because because if you don't win it all, especially if you're a brother, you don't win it all.
I was gonna say, Dusty, you're black. You still would have been on 5.
No. Well, yeah, eventually. I'm sorry, man. I lost my head there.
I say this all the time about 02. 02 was, I was 19 years old, 18 years old, and no, 19. But that Game 6, it just feels like there was nothing that could be done. Felix Rodriguez was lights out all year. And what was that? Probably about a 11 pitch at bat to Spezio.
Yeah, and he had him 1 and 2.
Yeah, and he just kept fouling.
No, but see, sometimes what people don't understand, I've been in Spezio's shoes. Sometimes I win. Everybody think your team's supposed to win all the time, and everybody think that the pitcher wins all the time, or they blame the pitcher. Sometimes, man, you got to give me some credit. Because I wasn't up there just painting. And boy, that was some game. And you think about Game 7, where a tough decision, where I chose Livan Hernandez because of his experience in the World Series and him winning games. But some of the teammates, just like we wanted Fernando to go in that series against the 1-game series against against Houston, and the sort of chose the veteran Goltz. Well, in that decision, I was like, oh man, I wasn't sure who to pick, but some of the guys wanted me to pick Kurt Reeder because Kurt Reeder, his name is Woody, and from that cartoon character, and he got these big old ears that he loves. He can't help it.
They hear you right now talking.
Oh yeah, I better be quiet. So Woody wants you to rub his ears for good luck. And them guys, man, his ears all red.
My ears, brother.
But yeah, I feel like that there was nothing that could be done. Even Robnan, who had been lights out. We found out later he was pitching through injury, just giving everything he had to try and get it.
But something I look back on all this, man. If I had won a couple times before this, I would have told him see you later. Even though I was on top and with the money. I mean, sometimes you get tired of mess.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That you can't say anything about. And so, maybe Lord didn't want me to leave yet because hopefully I influenced, some players positively and made a better life for their families.
Yeah.
And a lot of these dudes, I mean, they tell me now that, how grateful they were. I mean, I don't think about it. I just think about doing my job or thinking about passing on what was given to me by the greats before me. I mean, anything I tell these guys, I think, I got some of it from me, but most of it I got from, Jim Gilliam, Joe Black, Roy Campanella, Hank Aaron, Satchel Paige. I even played with Satch, in 68. Yeah, that was a trip. I was 68. He's called me Daffy. And I said, man, my name ain't no Daffy. He said, come here, Daffy. I said, you know what Daffy looked like? That little black duck on Donald Duck. He still called me Daffy. You know what I mean? So, we had a good time. Right now we're drinking something that was for my mom. And my mom asked me, this is for my mom. My mom asked me, she says, I want a rosé. I said, Mama, we don't have a rosé. She goes, go get one. I said, Mama, I'm supposed to get one. Talk to Chick. So Chick made this rosé for my mom, and she never got to taste it or drink it because she passed before. So this rosé was for my mom.
Well, cheers. I'm confident she would
This is
approve.
fantastic too.
Since we're talking about the women in our lives, and Casey was bringing up 2002. How much trouble did you get in with Mrs. Baker when JT Snow grabbed Darren at home plate?
Well, she.
It was bad when it starts with
There's two things. My mom used to tell me, quit cursing on TV. I can read your lips. I said, no, Mom, I wasn't cursing. She says, well, I read them lips. And you're embarrassing the family. That was that time. And then that morning she called me because Darren had been the bat boy a number of times. And he was only out there because I had cancer that winter. And so I was trying to give him everything I could in case my cancer came back. Yeah. Once they tell you got cancer, man, you don't sleep right because it comes to your mind. And so she said, son, I don't think he should be the bat boy today. I said, oh, Mama, come on. She goes, you'll never listen to me. I said, Mama, he's done it. Barry Bonds said he's the best bat boy we got. Then when I saw him right out there, I said, oh, Lord. And then I get back.
Is that Darren?
Is there a little competition?
Yeah, there's competition between he and this other little kid that we didn't know. So that's mine because all the kids are getting their dad's bats. And Darren's dad, Darren told me, Dad, you don't do nothing but sit around. What do you do? That's what he told me. And so Sean Dunston's son got his, Barry Bonds' son got his, JT Snow's son got his. And so his designated guy was Kenny Lofton. And so he ran out there, and I got back to my office, phone rang. I said, oh, Lord, who's this? So I wasn't going to answer. That's how I better answer. I picked it up. Dusty, when your mama call your name like that. So, oh yes, Mama, what's up? I told her she wasn't watching the game. I told you don't ever listen to me. I said, hey, Mama. I said, oh, the press is coming in. Oh no, they gotta wait. The press wasn't coming, but I was trying to get off the phone.
I'm just the Giants PR guy. Yeah, Dusty's talking to his mom right now. He can't come. He's gonna have to hang on, guys. The press corps from all over Major League Baseball is here, but Dusty's getting yelled at by his mom. Everybody, hang on.
Yeah, Peter Gammon, you're gonna have to wait. Right? He's talking to his mom. Right?
And I was.
That's an iconic moment, though.
Oh, yeah.
That is.
The only
That
thing
is
is
one of the all-time
everybody remembers
moments.
it, but him.
He don't remember. How was he? About 4, 3?
Oh, he was little.
Remember it all, yeah.
He don't remember anything.
That's crazy.
What's he say when he sees it?
Huh?
Does he have you ever? I mean, I'm sure you
Yeah, he's
watched
saying
it with it, and
quite honestly, I think he's kind of tired of seeing it.
I'd imagine.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was still cool.
And that's all. And then
we lost the game.
Mhm.
And what I remember as much as anything, Darren was crying. He was crying crazy.
Mhm.
And then Leroy
Alright,
Hendricks,
so you carrying him out,
who's
man.
the security for the commissioner.
Uh-huh.
He was standing right beside me. And, yeah, he talked to Leroy. He's in town today with the commissioner, talking to the A's.
Okay.
And so Leroy is there right there, and then his favorite show was Bernie Mac, and so Bernie Mac was on like some talk show, and Bernie was talking about Darren.
Yeah.
but that boy was wailing. He don't even know what he was wailing about. And then so
He was balling.
yeah,
I remember
so I
that.
called Bernie. I said, Bernie, that boy knew what he was wailing about. He goes, did he really? I said, that boy said he knew, Daddy, I don't want them to win. That's all he kept telling me. I don't want them to win. And so my son got him on the phone and said, look, Bernie, I know what I was crying about.
That's a classic.
Darren made his World Series debut and talked to Bernie Mac and has no recollection of any
I
of it.
know. That's his man, Bernie Mac.
That's the I'm sitting here and I'm thinking about this. You said Darren was 3. I have a 2-year-old daughter.
2 minutes.
I got a 2-year-old daughter. She turns 3 in November. Yeah, I might be with your mom on this. I can't imagine her going out being a bad boy, Dusty.
I know, but this boy went to the park every day.
He was there every day, the whole run. I remember.
No, but not
seeing
only
him.
that, he would sit down and watch the whole game. You know, I mean, by himself.
Yeah.
And he liked 2 things. He liked 3: Bernie Mac, watching games, and he liked listening to Reverend Al Sharpton.
Oh,
that's
Lord.
my dog.
Oh,
That's what I like.
oh
Darren.
my
That's
God.
my boy.
So I said, I'm like, really? So he was just sitting in front of the TV watching. I said, you know what you look at? Shh.
That's my boy Darren, man. We gotta get Darren up here, man. You gotta come talk
He
to
just
him.
got home yesterday. He's
Okay,
home now.
Okay.
He's right down the street too.
Yeah, we gotta talk to him.
Hey, Darren, what's bothering you today? The white man. The white man is bothering you. You got the ultimate line too. Mom, Barry Bonds says he's the greatest bad boy ever. Like, what's the problem? Hey, we're going to be at Baker Family Wines this Sunday at 1 o'clock. We're going to be watching football. We're going to be drinking wines. There's going to be charcuterie boxes out there. There's going to be food trucks. If you've never been to Baker Family Wines, make your plans to make your first trip coming up this Sunday at 1 o'clock. Chick, we appreciate you so much.
Thanks for having us on.
Dusty, we
Yeah.
appreciate
I gotta
your
come
time.
back, y'all.
Oh, man, you open
The
invitation.
stories are endless.
Man, just walk
Anytime.
in that door anytime you want.
Anytime, just walk in, sit down.
Hey man, I got one thing. I was going by the Kings Arena yesterday, and I had my wife's truck picking up the Astros. Doug Christie walks out,
Mm-hmm.
and so I stop and I take my hat off. Doug, how you doing? He didn't recognize me.
Oh, no.
I swear he just went, "Hey man, how you doing, brother?"
We're talking to him.
Oh, no,
We're
we're
gonna talk to him. We're gonna talk to him.
we're gonna fix that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna fix that.
Oh yeah, he
No.
came out in the
Because
suit and everything.
No. Oh, we know exactly where Doug was leaving too.
Really?
Doug was leaving with us.
Yeah.
When? Yesterday?
Yesterday. We're gonna
He has the
FaceTime
gray
Doug
suit
right
on,
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
I'm
got-
telling you,
hey,
I pulled up on the side. He's walking out.
We talk,
And he's with another brother. Is that the GM? that
Yes.
he's
when we
with?
close
Yes.
the show out right now,
Yeah.
we about to talk to him. Right
Yeah,
now.
we're gonna FaceTime
He's like, "Hey,
Doug
brother,
right
how
now.
you doing?"
We'll see y'all tomorrow at 10 a.m. on Sacramento Sports Leader.